Good night. Good night. Right, hello everyone, and welcome to Claret and Booze Talk Hammer Show. You're with just myself and Gary tonight. Gary's John's sort of fresh back from holiday, so he's not going to be around this week. But hopefully back to normal again next week. Yeah, so we're gonna touch on just to quickly run through the agenda. We're gonna touch on the player ratings. Gary's going to talk a little bit about the game. We're going to give our verdict on the transfer window as well. Talk a little bit about that. Talk about the Europa League. Very, very briefly on those subjects, and then we'll get to the phone calls as quickly as we can as well. So thank you everyone for joining us. Gary, you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. I've just had some excitement on Twitter, which was good fun actually.
Was it Arsenal related?
It was Arsenal related because I sat down. Been in a really good mood today. I can't figure out why. I don't know why. Might be because we're in the top six going into the break.
Nick that off Craven.
But I've seen Mason and several others have noticed while my tweet was up there for a little while. Should be banned for tweeting he was happy for Declan Rice. I need to qualify that a little bit, Mace, right? And that was, I didn't say I was happy for him. I was like, who cares, right? I was sitting there. No, it's the first time I've watched Declan Rice since I haven't watched an Arsenal game since he went there, and I watched it today because I was bored and I was in a good mood. So I watched it. And to be honest, there was no emotional attachment from me to Declan Rice in any way, shape or form, right?
Apparently I'm low in volume. Hang on.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, apparently so. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you all right. Am I loud enough?
I've taken off the auto adjust, so I don't want to be too loud. That's the only thing. Is that all right, everyone? I've just turned it up a little bit, or is that too loud? Let me know. Thumbs up or whatever before we carry on.
What are they saying?
Hello, testing 1 2 1 2. Anyone?
Is the sound all right?
Confirm the sound's all right.
Someone.
Are we okay?
Volume loud and clear both.
Excellent.
Okay. Thank you, Keith.
Gary, continue.
Brilliant. Right. So look, I got this thing where I wasn't angry about Rice at all anymore. I watched him. It was just like watching a player playing for another team, which is effectively what he is, right?
Yeah.
And when he scored, I must admit, I tweeted it straight after. I shouldn't have probably. I said
I threw up.
I said I quite enjoyed that Arsenal game, and I was quite pleased for Dec when he scored. I could cure mass pylon. Well, I didn't say I was happy for him. I didn't say I was celebrating. I would never celebrate an Arsenal goal. It just meant nothing to me. You know what I mean? It meant nothing to me. So thank you, Mace, for rubbing it in. Thank you for noticing. I did delete the tweet because I think it was inviting one of those retweet pylons, but I thought, nah, Rice can kiss Arteta's penis.
Yeah.
What else we got? Gary should get a donkey. I'm happy to have a donkey if you want me to have one tonight. That's all right. I don't care. No one should ever be happy for Rice. He's a Judas. Yeah. Well, look, I'm just really ambivalent towards it now. I don't care. I'm not angry about it anymore. That's the thing. For fuck's sake, forget Rice. He's gone. Don't give a toss. Blah blah blah. Give and
give both these North Americans donkeys. Well, really?
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, they were
North
poor.
African donkeys.
North African donkeys. They were poor, mate. They were poor. We're going to get there. We're going to get there.
Yeah. And this is an interesting one from Obsidian Curse. Right, forget Rice. I see Skamaka scored a brace. Funny that, wasn't it?
I know. Good goals as well.
He's a good player. We always said he was.
You know that we're going to be facing them at some point in the knockout stages.
I know. And boy, is he going to be up for that, isn't he?
I know.
That was funny. That's what I took from the game because I was quite happy sitting there seeing Man U win it, right? And then it was robbed from me. So I didn't like to sit there and think, oh fucking hell, I have to sit through this.
I was choked.
Excitement.
I was literally choked.
That was a fag paper, wasn't it? Away.
He weren't offside. The geezer was leaning forward. He was leaning forward.
What happened to that rule change that was being floated? The one where you had to have clear air between the players.
It's not taken effect yet. It's being trialled somewhere. But
sooner they do that and stop fucking looking at lines, the better. You know.
Yeah, but all that means is, Gary, is that there'll still be lines, but the lines will move from the front to the back.
Yeah, but you just have to.
There's still going to be lines.
Surely the fact is that you're going to have to be able to see daylight between the players.
Yeah.
For it to be offside, right? Yeah. And that should be quite easy to spot, shouldn't it?
Should be.
Yeah. Right. So yeah. All right. Let's move on. I've put that. I've avoided my Twitter pylon. Quite happy about that. Got told I wasn't proper West Ham.
You're better at avoiding Twitter pylons than me, Gary.
Yeah, I know. I got in there and deleted it before the first retweet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, Luton. I've already given my thoughts on the game. So do you want to give your? Obviously, you was watching from home, so it was different perspective.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts? Tell me how you felt watching the game. Not now the dust has settled. So watching the game, did you enjoy it? Was it a good watch? We all know it was a good win. You know, we were top of the league momentarily, but
I wasn't watching it on my own. I had Ross round and we were watching it
yeah,
together. And I had the volume turned up a bit. So to be honest, you could hear the away support really well. And there were a couple of cracking songs that came out, like "You're Only Here for 1 Year" and stuff like that.
brilliant.
And I thought it was
Yeah.
superb. And what's that one where we was saying, you know, European champions, you'll never sing that. And they sang in return, conference champions, you'll never sing that.
They kept queuing us up. They kept saying, "Who are you?" So it kept on queuing us up for European champions. It was all, you're only here for the season. You're only here for the West Ham. Premier League, you're having a laugh. It was good, yeah. That was good. Good,
Yeah,
but they were good. I must admit, very hostile, and I know a lot of people, yourself included, got very antsy with how nasty they were to Jared Bowen and his missus. But you know what? It's no worse than what we've done before with Rooney and Colleen and things. I think if you want to be the 12th man, it was like the last game at Upton Park with Man United, how we were with De Gea. You've got to try and get in the heads of players. It didn't work because both the players they targeted scored. They just pissed them off. But I don't take offence at that because I think that's football banter.
I think what we used to sing at Beckham was just it was just a genuine question, right? It wasn't.
Does she take it up the?
Yeah. It wasn't. It wasn't. It was a genuine question. It was fine, right? and I think what we sing to Boeing, because the Luton fans are coming back on Twitter and saying, but you sing Ishaq Danny Dyer. I said, well, that's just objectively true, isn't it? They've got a couple of kids, you know. So yeah, I listen. I thought it was a little bit out of order. Calling it, you know, you don't call her that. What do you want to call her that for?
But it's look, I know, but at the end of the day, it didn't work. I don't think they'll do it next time. They're not going to go out their way to wind us up next time, are they?
To be fair, a lot of their fans were having a go at their fans on Twitter, which I thought was quite good, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I quite enjoyed the game, to be honest. I mean, I know it was a bit of a bore fest in terms of the way we were playing and the way they were playing. I mean, they were a team of giants who are absolutely cut out to play in that style, right?
We're not going to mock the way they played against us, are we?
No, I never thought they would score in a million years, right? And we looked pretty comfortable. I got to be honest, because every time they got a sort of half chance, they fucked it, didn't they? They completely had a nosebleed.
No, they didn't have a nosebleed. That's what 200 to 400 million does. The only difference between the two teams is we had quality in the right areas. I'll be honest with you. I feel quite romantic about the whole Luton thing. I do. I think they've come up from non-league all the way through to the Premier League. They've done it on a shoestring budget. They gave us a fucking game. Really gave us a game, and they did lack quality where it mattered. They had more shots on goal.
They did lack quality. That's what I'm saying. They did lack quality. They were. I'm
not about to mock Luton. No,
I'm not going to mock them because that's fantastic. That run they've been on, absolutely fantastic. Just got to drop the silly songs that belong in League Two, like "Your Shit Are." When the keeper
they did make me laugh with Zuma though, you know, because he got clattered twice, and it was was it you? Now you know how your cat feels.
Oh yeah, I've heard that before though. To be honest, I've heard that one before.
I know. Yeah. It was quite funny. It was funny.
Yeah, but yeah, I look, drop those couple of songs, and then perhaps we can start talking about it. But I think I'm really pleased for their genuine fans, most of them, right, who have been through a lot of pain and heartache. And you imagine seeing your team go out to the Conference League. I mean, fucking hell, they were in Division 1 and beating us regularly. 20 plus years ago. They were always a strong side, horrible side with that horrible plastic pitch. So look, but I think it's probably the first time for many of the youngsters to see them anywhere near the top flight. So that's good.
Mr. Macy's bang on.
Matt Letizia used to get non-stop pelters the size of his Uta, didn't bother him, kept scoring. Yeah, well, it's true.
I remember once the whole stadium when we was at Upton Park was your big nose. You've got a fucking big nose. And he stood up, stroked the ball straight into the top corner.
Yeah, I know. He was a class player though, wasn't he? He was a class player. So look, I'd have to say it was industrial football. Industrial football from both teams, but exactly like you said, a little bit of quality. And what started to happen through the first half, you could see that Paqueta had found a gap. You could see that they found some space, and you could see that Alvarez was pushing forward, and there was a little triangle between Emerson, Alvarez, and Paqueta, and it was starting to look really promising. And I still didn't see how we were going to break them down, but honestly, looking one way and putting that crossing straight onto Bowen's head. And the keeper's had a mare there, hasn't he? I mean, he should have done better, really.
Yeah, he should have.
But yeah, it was a good first half. I was happy with first half. You know, went into the second half. I thought, by the way, all through the game, Alvarez and Paqueta were just so up for the battle. They were actually enjoying it.
Three key players in that game. How I saw it, and that was Zuma, Alvarez and
Oh yeah.
and Paqueta. Yeah,
Zuma was fantastic, and I mean, look, we thought it was all over when that goal got disallowed, and then when Zuma scored from another blinding pinpoint cross from you guys. That's it. Look, it affects other people, Arsenal, more than it affects me. I don't really know many Arsenal fans. That's probably why. It seems like this.
No, do you know what it is? It isn't really the ones that I know. It's the social media element of Arsenal that have really soured me.
Oh, but they usually
this year around the Declan Rice deal. I mean, they've got some real pricks in their fan base.
They are usually dicks, aren't they? They're especially their YouTube channels. But yeah, I think second half there was genuinely nothing to worry about, and we were just we were running the clock down, doing pretty well. They weren't getting anywhere near us. We scored a second goal. Well, we had one disallowed, then we scored a second goal. It's such a shame that one was disallowed as well. It was a cracking goal the way Antonio used his body to shield it, and the winner was fantastic. And two bits of immediate payback. One from Bowen, who was getting grief earlier, and then from Zuma, who actually went over, if you saw his face, and booed back at the crowd. Right?
Yeah. Ooh. No. He loved it. He loved it. As I said in my review, he lapped it up. A few people got it. But so, Mr. May says, look, that was a stonewall penalty at the end. If that had been the other end, we'd have been crying for that.
Yeah, we would have been. But apparently, there's a few referees on Twitter who have said no, it wasn't. I'm not under the new rules because
what are the rules
because
now, then?
The new rules are your arm has got to move towards the ball. It's got to look deliberate. Right, and it didn't. His arm didn't move towards the ball. Having said that, I had my heart in my mouth, and the way that game ended, it's just typical West Ham, isn't it? I mean, Agüed switched off for that goal
multiple times.
He's got to stop doing that because he loses concentration so frequently, and it generally costs us a goal when he does. Well, he should have gone and shut the bloke down who crossed the ball. But as it stood, he basically stayed there and got in Zuma's way, right?
Yeah, no, I know.
And
I know.
It was just a mess. And then after they've scored first goal, you didn't want to encourage that crowd, did you? Did you really?
Oh, they were relentless. Even at 2-0 down, they did not stop fucking singing. It was really annoying. Yeah, actually, it was constant. So look, I reckon their fans will help their team. I do.
Yeah, they will. They will.
They're going to need some help.
Listen, Nick, I'm glad that we got the two horrible little grounds out the way in the first 4 games and taken 4 points from them, because I think if we played Luton later in the season when they've got a bit more warmed up, it might be a tougher proposition, right? So I think that's ideal. That's good for us. We've only really got the only other small ground we got is Brentford, but that's not really a close to the pitch small ground, is it?
Yeah, no,
it's not one of them,
Oh, I love you too, Dougie. Cheers, mate.
Yeah. So I was really happy with the win. Delighted. Oh, thanks, Thomas. Delighted to be top of the table going into the weekend. Absolutely delighted. And look, it's like I said, it's industrial football. While it works, I'm on board with it. I think that we're building a defense, and especially with Alvarez, we're building a kind of a really steely back line, and also the players in front. Those two lines are really, really strong. And I think what he's probably going to do for City is put Souček back in. So that means we're going to have two very, very strong lines. And it's going to be difficult.
I'm not on board. I'm not on board with this style. I'm shelving it. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm also pessimistic at the same time, because I think that this style of football, that's why I'm going to give it about 10 games to 15 games. Because this style of football is more defensive than what we were doing 18 months ago. It is, admittedly, and we look like we're a little bit better on a counter attack now, which is good. But you know what? We got found out doing this 18 months ago. I do think it will happen again. I posted a video on Twitter. This low block, which is what it's called. I posted a link to it in the video afterwards as well. How to beat a low block. It's like 2 years old, and it starts out by saying this style of football is typically used by weaker opposition. So, for instance, when West Ham play Luton, you expect them to play a low block because there is a huge disparity in quality. So you wouldn't expect them to go toe-to-toe. Therefore, they try and stem the flow and they play that style of football. But I'm the only thing that could make it work, really, are the pieces of the puzzle that we've got, in my opinion. We do have some amazing players, But the worry that I've got is now the transfer window's out the way. A lot of these players did grow tired. We know that they grew tired of the defensive tactics last year. If he can keep them all focused and all on board, so that because this strategy that he's doing here, you're only ever as good as your weakest link. You can't have anyone switching off. You can't. If you're defending for 80% of the game, you need to be focused and bang on the whole time, and that is a very difficult thing to do. And I do worry that it's got a shelf life again, and I don't think we're going to have a plan B, Gary.
I think
but we will see.
I'll tell you what.
I'm going to shelve it for now.
Hang on a minute. Let me just say. Listen, it has got a shelf life. I agree with you. I think it's a matter of time till we get found out. I think what you need when you're doing this, because they called out in that video as well, Simeone and Mourinho, who had pacey counterattacks. So they were capable of scoring goals.
Two managers
quite a lot of
goals
goals
as well. I detest their style of football. I detest it.
I know. But yeah, it was. I think he's basing it more on the Mourinho type of team, in that he's got quality that should be able to hold out against good sides. Because I think Alan Pardew said on TalkSport just now, he's quite good on TalkSport, by the way. He said, if Arsenal play against West Ham, against David Moyes' West Ham are not going to push up like Man United did in that game and leave big gaps in behind. It's just not going to happen, and that's why, so it's even coming from another ex-manager, right? So I think we will earn some begrudging respect from people this year. I don't think anyone's going to slaughter us.
No.
I think we have got quality, but what we've got to do is, people like Aguerd either need to buck their ideas up and stop making mistakes, because really, if you're going to play that system, you can't make mistakes, right?
Yeah.
You've got to be on your game for 90 minutes. Otherwise, it just don't work, right?
No.
Emerson is fine. Zuma is fine. To an extent, Soufal is fine as well, even though I'd like Hera. But Aguerd is the weakness. And also, if you look at that video earlier, it actually highlighted one of the weaknesses, was getting down the wing and playing inside the fullback and the first centre half. And that is where Aguerd typically gets
I would like to defend Aguerd on this. And that isn't defending his mistakes. I think these mistakes are going to keep coming. It was good to see you, Dodgy, as well down there, mate. They're going to keep coming. Aguerd was bought. So bear in mind, cast your mind back a year, when this style had been found out. David Moyes admitted it, and then he had to embark on getting players in that would allow us to play a more progressive style. Aguerd was brought in and identified as a player that would allow us, as a defender, to play a higher line because he's got recovery pace. When you play a low block, that's a backs-to-the-wall defender. That's a Zuma. That's a Dawson. That's an Ogbonna. That is not fucking Aguerd. It never was Aguerd. It never will be Aguerd. And he is going to make mistakes playing this way, because he's a more cultured, he's better than that. He's a more cultured player. So I do think if we're going to play this way, especially having seen Ogbonna when he came on the other day, I think Ogbonna might be the better fit in this system, because Aguerd can't do it very well. He's a better defender than that. Like I say, he was brought in to help us play a progressive game, play further up. That's what he was brought in for. He's not a brick wall. There's more to him than that. So was he shit? Yes. Can I understand it? I can. Do I think he's going to get better? I don't think he will, because he isn't. He ain't really got the build to do it, Gary. And sometimes he switches off.
Yeah, but we can't switch off. That's the thing. This ain't about him having the build or the capacity to do it. It's about his brain. He can't switch off. Let's say thank you, by the way, to Thomas. Thank you, Thomas, for that.
Yeah, cheers, Thomas.
That's nice. Yeah, and we've
got Sharky. Sharky's just become a member.
Yeah, Sharky's just become a member. Yeah, cheers, Sharky. Yeah. I think he's a good player, Aguerd. I just think that when he first got into the team after that injury, he took several games to get warmed up. He kept making mistakes, and then he stopped the mistakes. And that's what he needs to do. He needs to get back to that. He needs to get back to focusing for 90 minutes. Don't lose the concentration. One more thing on that game this afternoon with. Honestly, Rice and Neville. Neville is turning into a fucking clown, isn't he? He gets so excitable about everything. I mean, look, let's look at that objectively. That goal at the end, he's brought it down nice on his chin, and he's spanked it towards the goal. He's taken the deflection and gone under the keeper. Right? He wasn't really a difference maker. I mean, I watched the way he was playing. He was doing all right. It was but I didn't really see anything to write home about. I've got to be honest.
I think he is the difference maker to their team. So
yeah, maybe
in a sense, because I've got an opinion on this, and I'm not bitter. I'm now glad that Declan Rice has gone because I think we're actually better without him. But I'm bitter that he's left us and he turned his nose up to go to them fuckers up the road. That's actually I'm quite insulted by it.
I'll tell you what.
No, hang on, because I'm quite insulted by it. But it's a win-win for both teams. They're better with him in the team because look, what he does is he does sit, and we know what he does. But for Arsenal, that's what he does, Gary. He is now a number 6. He gets a chance to go up the field occasionally because they play higher up the field. But he's the deepest of all midfielders. They all play further on. He allows them to sort of play their game. But by selling him, we've got better. We've got better as well because we've never had this balance to our midfield. Declan Rice was always a 7 to a 9 out of 10. Sometimes a 10 out of 10. But quite often his midfield partners would suffer.
So Souček was a 4 or 5 generally. Yeah, so I agree with you. But the thing that I found quite funny on all this is Carlton Cole. You see him on YouTube when he did that little interview where he was laughing and he was talking about Declan Rice. Said, "What is Declan Rice? Is he a West Ham legend?" He said, "No, he's not a West Ham legend." He said, "You can't go."
I didn't say that.
He said you can't go across to Arsenal.
No,
and
I agree.
No, listen, I ain't finished. And in the first week, say, I've never seen football before I come to Arsenal.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and that kind of, but he said, then again, I made a bit of a fuck up when I joined West Ham. He said, I said it was a stepping stone. And I'm still here.
I love the way he takes a piss out of himself.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
He's superb, isn't he? He's good. I'll tell you what was good, because I know, look, a lot of these channels, we didn't do it. I mean, I suppose we would do one day if we was ever at home when there was a draw on. But do you know what? There's no need, because if West Ham are going to carry on doing those live broadcasts that they do on their official channel, they did a podcast with the draw. They had Ginge, they had the rapper, the one who done the song for Caduce, and they had Carlton Cole and the host. And when I forget watch it back. It's brilliant. It's really good.
Well, they do some great videos. The ones behind the scenes, I watch all of them. I think they're brilliant. It's good to see them. Fucking hell, let's just catch up on a few comments, Nick. So before we go any further, so we got just laughed that shot went nowhere near. 2 deflections net, peak Brazil 1970. Sad you can't feel happy for a former player. I wouldn't say happy for him. I'd say I was sort of mildly pleased for him. That was about it. Not happy. He wouldn't go that far. We've done Thomas already. Thank you, Thomas. Kimbo, thank you very much.
Oh, cheers, Kimbo.
And
Steve Bell, thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. Interested to see how we react if we go behind in a game. Yeah, it will, won't it? It will.
Then the game plan's out the window. The low block's gone because you've got to chase the game. So this is where, because a lot of people have hit back at me because I posted that video on Twitter earlier on. All I was saying, I didn't even mention the M word. I didn't. All I said was the low block that we play, is it sustainable? Will it last the test of time throughout the season? That was it. Oh well, we didn't play the low block against Luton. You're not gonna against Luton. If you play a team that are playing a low block, you can't both do it. Oh no, you have the ball. No, I don't fucking want it. No, you have it. You can't. So it was kind of down to us. When you play a team that have just been promoted, it's down to us. The pressure's on us. We've got to take the game to them, even though it was at their ground. We have to, and we did. To be fair, we got the job done.
I ain't really used Twitter for about 6 months. I used to use it all the time, every day, and I was over the week, like since last week, I decided to start using it again. And largely, I quite like it. It's the same as it was, but I find that if you say something that is mildly controversial, fuck it hell, you get so many people saying you're not proper West Ham, you ain't, and all that sort of stuff. How can a West Ham fan say something like that? It's like, oh, shut up, it's just an opinion, mate. What about Man City goal against Fulham? That was terrible. That was terrible. Someone's standing in a clear offside position, obstructing the keeper. But then it's the VAR advantage of the big teams, isn't it?
Yeah.
Agwed frightens the life out of me. Says, it's me, Sam. His communication skills of Areola is massively worrying. Yeah, I don't know whether it's Areola or I'm sure it's Agwed himself. But that is up to Zuma as a captain to organise the fuck out of him, right? Love Agwed as a player, but suspect in the air. Yeah. Gary, where'd you get that chair from? I'll tell you where I got this chair from, right? These are really expensive chairs. And I bought one secondhand. It's in the house, like my son's using it. Bought one secondhand for about 500 quid because they're about 1,200 quid new, right? Well, when my firm shut an office down, they had something like, I don't know, about 900 of these chairs, and they let us buy them for £1 each. So this cost me £1.
Fucking hell! Why don't you get me one?
You only had one.
Oh, bet you are.
Yeah.
I don't believe you. Kent Hammers, Gary.
Yes.
He reckons we're going to get a few hardings this way because once the top score, yeah, this is the thing, and look, this is kind of what we tried to do against Brighton last year. But if one of those chances goes in, when we played against Chelsea, if any of those that huge number of chances they created, then it's game over. But look, the fact of the matter is, what is good? You can't knock the start. We've got 10 points out of 12. The good thing about that is because look, we're not gonna win the league, so we're not gonna win the league. But what it will do is, I think the quicker we can get points on the board, the more we can focus on the cups. I really want to do that. So if we can do that, get a really good start in the league, get to 20 points double quick, and then we can focus on the bloody cups because. Fucking league board.
I think that's the important thing, right? Is to get to safety as quickly as possible. Glasses are wonky. Get to safety as quickly as possible, then we can just enjoy the cups, right? Because it was always playing. The league was always playing on our mind, wasn't it, last year? Because you might go down and win the Conference League.
We was in a relegation battle the whole year.
Yeah, we're having those conversations of would you be happy to go down and win the Conference League? And you know, I know Nigel was happy with it. I was in two minds, but yeah. I think East side, when you base your game around one player, it holds others back. Now we look better without him. Yeah, absolutely.
That's bang on.
Absolutely right. You cannot complain with losing one good player who's doing the job of two men because the other one was playing bad, but to bring 3 bits of quality, potentially 4, for that same money into the team. That is great business. And by the way, I don't care what Karen Brady said today about our someone had a comment in there earlier about she was on the radio telling everybody how fantastic David Moyes is, and that's fine. It's up to us.
Listen, you know when she's lying, her mouth moves. You don't listen to a word she fucking says.
Yeah, I know.
Paul Chambers says here, do you think? Well, we'll get to this. Do you think Soufal played well? I thought he was good. I'll be honest with you, I didn't. I thought he made maybe 2 really good challenges. But other than that, do you know what really, really, really fucks me off with Soufal? And that is, especially when you're playing this low block, when you do launch the ball out, they've got to be accurate. You've got to find someone. He's a hoofer.
Yeah.
So you've got players that pick precision passes, that do precision passing.
Yeah.
Soufal don't even look. He just fucking hoofs the ball straight down the line. He's yeah, I'm not a fan. I think it's a weakness. I think he should be a backup. I like him. I like him as a player. He's honest. He's hardworking.
Yeah.
But when you look at the culture that we've got out on the left-hand side with Emerson now, who was amazing in that game, he was bombing down that wing all night long. You know, that goal where Paqueta queued that ball up for Bowen at the back post, a lot of that was Emerson drawing defenders away.
Yeah, I was sad that we didn't get another right back, and sad that or right wing back, and sad we one with pace who can bomb up and down the line.
Kehrer, though, what is going on?
I know we have, and he's
good enough for Germany. Why is he not good enough for us?
And when Kehrer eventually gets back into the team, he's going to need time to settle again, isn't he? Because he ain't getting first team time. Maybe Europe will take care of some of this stuff. I don't know. But there's one here from Sharky. I'm a bit glad we didn't get a striker. I'd like to have got another striker, but. Here's what it is. You know how slow we are at signing strikers. Did you see the story about Avram Grant? Yes, I did. So that was on the Carlton Cole thing as well, right? And he was saying that Avram Grant was actually a bit of a party animal. Like he loved the nightclub and stuff like that. He used to buy the drinks and everything else.
Didn't look like that sort of character.
No, he didn't, did he? But he said one day they're sort of gone out for training about 10 o'clock. All the players are out on the pitch, and they said, "Where's the gaffer?" He said, "I don't know. Has anyone seen him?" Someone said, "Yeah, I saw him coming earlier. He's definitely around." Anyway, they waited for a while, and Carlton's gone and had a look in the office, and he's basically got his head on the desk. He's snoring his head off. Apparently, that's what he did.
Having said that, he did also look like a pisshead. If you looked at him,
he did.
He did. So it's not surprising, really. Eastside says that Mavropanos can also play at right back as well. That's true, and he's got pace.
Yeah.
And he does some marauding runs as well. I don't know what his delivery's like. I ain't got a clue. I don't know enough about him. But
this is a surprise, isn't it? Newcastle 3 points after 4 matches. I mean, they're not looking great defensively at all, are they?
I think they'll be all right. They'll be fine. They'll get there.
But defensively, they look shot.
Yeah, they do. But it's the start of the season. Do you know what? They had virtually no points at this point last year. It takes some teams a long time to get going. So I think you've got to. I think momentum's key. And that Liverpool game, they was really naive. I called it out at the time. I watched that. They was in front. Liverpool went down. They was 1-0 up. Liverpool went down to 10 men. And I can understand trying to get the second goal to a certain point.
Yeah.
But when there's only 10 minutes left at that point, when you're looking at Liverpool and the threat that they've got on the counter-attack, don't let them in. But they were continually trying to bomb on and leaving gaps in behind. That's why Núñez scored those 2 goals, because they was naive.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Listen, there are 2 related comments here, and we should talk about this now, right? So Jonathan Boyce says, I think we're going to have an issue to put Kudos into the team, not based on ability, but who do we drop? Also, did you see the news about Man U taking over fell through, so who will buy West Ham? So I think that was, look, they're always going to dismiss these links. If Qataris or so-and-so were going to take over West Ham, you wouldn't know about it until it happened, right? You wouldn't know about it.
Sean Whetstone gets his information from Sullivan. Sullivan is not about to tell Sean that we're about to sell.
No, Sean. Tell him there's nothing in it, Sean.
Yeah.
Right. What's your thoughts on free transfer Lingard? So we've got Kudus and Lingard. Now, my opinion on this is I worry that his default selection is going to be including the Souček. Now, to me, Souček don't have a place in that team unless we're playing a Man City.
Did you hear him in the post? Did you hear him in the post?
Someone? Yeah, I did.
He spoke more about Souček than anyone else.
But that's my opinion. That's my opinion, right? Yeah. My worry is that he sticks with that format. He plays that 4-1-4-1, and there's no room in that starting 11 for another flair player because Ben Rama and Kudus and Lingard are now sitting on the bench. My other worry is...
But hang on, Gary, but then you're going to introduce issues because, did you read the article in The Athletic where basically Tim Steiten sold Kudus on the promise that, because apparently the questions were asked because Paqueta does kind of play in Kudus's best position.
Yeah.
And he said, what's the story with Paqueta? Will I get in the team? And Tim Steiten gave him assurances that he will get in the team with Paqueta. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's going to evolve. I think we've got to wait and see the European games, right? And we've got to see if Kudus sets it alight, and he's going to not be able to be ignored. But the thing is,
this is a top player, though.
The thing that I suspect will happen is that because Moyes has got his favourites, like he's got certain people are more favourite than others, and I think when Jesse Lingard eventually signs, I think he goes straight into the team over Souček. Right?
He won't go over Souček because he's a flair player and he doesn't do any defensive work. So he is the luxury player. He will be afforded more freedom than what Paqueta gets now. Paqueta gets anchored to the fucking defence. Yeah. So he does. He's still great, but he is hamstrung. And I'll guarantee you, if we bring Lingard in, then you can kiss goodbye to any... basically, what we would be doing is, if we sign off on Lingard, you're signing off on the depreciation of Kudos, who won't get any fucking...
I think so, yeah, I think so. Listen, Moyes can't not give a player we've paid 40-odd million quid for to, not give him any game time. He can't, right? Karen Brady said it herself in her interview. David Moyes signed off every player we signed. So that includes Kudus, right? He probably didn't sign off, Steiten to go and say, oh, yeah, we're going to give you game time. Because what happens, Nick, and we've criticised Moyes over this before. You know what happens. You let Moyes in front of the player and Moyes said, you're going to have to earn your stripes, right? Yeah. Whereas Steiten says the fucking obvious thing that you should say is, don't worry about that, mate. Yeah, we get plenty of games time, in a roundabout way. You got to say that, ain't you? But if he's going to try and hold Steiten to that'd be ridiculous. He's got to prove himself in training. There are only low block, City, Liverpool, Brighton, Man U, Newcastle. Newcastle play low as well, right? They don't play high. So I think it's going to be a bit of a. You remember that 0-0 or 1-1 we had up at Newcastle last year, where we basically cancelled each other out.
We played a low block against Bournemouth when
we played low block against everybody, but I think it's going to work against the medium to lower teams, and I think it's going to work to a certain extent against the better teams as well. There are some teams in there like City who are just fucking outstanding, and they'll find a way to unlock the door. So I don't think that's going to be, but Liverpool I'm quite optimistic about. Man U definitely quite optimistic about, especially because they leave space in behind like they did against Arsenal today. I think there has got to be that position that Souček is going to take up, right? That is a flair position. That is not another defensive position. So it's got to be Kudus, given his price tag. As long as he impresses in training, as long as I imagine his first game is going to be in Europe because we're doing that when we get back, aren't we? We're straight into Europe when we get back.
Yeah.
right? So I would imagine Kudus gets his first starts in those games, which would be good to see him, good to let him get used to the style of the team and what's expected of him, and then probably bring him into the Premier League. And I hope that's what Moyes is telling him, because he's special. And I think there's one thing we can say about Moyes so far, with our hand on our eye, is that if a player is special, he doesn't overlook them. He overlooks the average, right? He doesn't overlook the special. Well, he got injured. He wasn't overlooking him. He was playing him until he got injured.
He didn't try and facilitate his success with the style.
He didn't, but he played him, right? And he kept on playing him. And Antonio had the ump. And then he got injured, and that's the only reason he got dropped and didn't get back into the team, because he was never himself again. But no, he never would have been a success with us, right?
Welcome aboard, mate. We've got another one.
Thank you, Mech.
Thank you,
WHU Mech. Welcome. So yeah, I think.
Should we get into the player ratings?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, hang on.
Sorry, I'm driving the comments. Well, we're sort of all driving the comments, and it's a bit of a nightmare, if I'm being honest. It's too many.
What's that?
No, I like they're all good comments, but the thing is with me is I look through and I think, I want to do that one, want to do that one.
Trouble is, you want to talk on every one, don't you? Because everyone makes good points.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden there's loads more in there. But it's but yeah, no, it's all good. So right,
just one more before we go in. And that's from Paul Riley, why is a Greek lad Mavropanos not been in the squad? He was injured. He arrived with a slight back injury. So I would think, again, his first game will be in Europe in a couple of weeks. Yeah. So we will see him. He's supposed to be a beast as well. And again, if Moyes sees that he's got the attributes to move into the Premier League, I'm pretty sure he will use him. I have a go at Moyes over a lot, but I don't think he's ever turned his back on quality, from what I'm aware.
No, that's fine. Right. Okay. Right. Let's get into this player ratings.
Yeah.
So I'll take Areola. Areola, I thought wasn't his best game. I thought his distribution was quite iffy. He flapped at a few crosses. I love Areola, by the way, and I'm glad he's in. But when you look at the game that he had against Brighton, he was struggling here, I thought. So for me, I'm probably going to go. He's much better than this, so I'm going to go for a 5, which is a below average for Areola. Probably his lowest score that I've given him, to be honest. But he weren't great. His communication with Aguirre is a problem as well.
I think he's got to improve on his catching, his crossing.
He flaps.
You remember that one? What was it? The last home game where it come down out of the sky, and was it the last home game or last away game? Can't remember. But the one where he virtually threw it into his own net because he tried to catch it sort of like that, and he should have really gone up and got it. But then again, look, he's been out of the team for a while. We're only a few games in. We ain't lost yet.
No, right, Gary, Emerson,
I thought he's turning into one of my favourite players. I really enjoy watching him because he's so progressive. He gets off down that line. He links up with the other talented players because he's very talented. He loves to play triangles with Paqueta. Paqueta looks for him now. And now Emerson's fucking had a look over the left and thought, I'll have some of that. And he started getting involved as well. And I thought he had an excellent game. Should have had a goal as well. I'll give him a, what can I give him? I'll give him should I give him an 8? Yeah, I'll give him an 8.
He was a really, really important player.
Yeah, I'll give him. I really like him because he's kind of a proper, you know what I mean? He's a proper grown-up player, isn't he?
I probably would go a high 7 for him if it was me. But I can't argue with an 8.
I'm going to go 8.
He was good.
I enjoyed watching him. Right, I enjoyed watching him. Proper footballer. That's the way to put it.
I really like him.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'll take this man, Aguirre. I thought he was shit. I don't think there's really any other word for it. I thought he was. He had a nightmare against Bournemouth, if you remember, when Solanke had him on toast. And then he kind of grows into the game and he gets used to it as the game goes on and he gets better. But that's not good enough. He switches off all the time. And I know there's communication problems between Areola and Aguirre. I don't know why. They can both speak French. You don't get that between Areola and Zuma. So there's only one sort of common denominator there. I don't really know what's going on there. His decision making was terrible. And he could have cost us a game. He let them. They had 2 chances directly through mistakes from Aguerd that if we was playing a better team, we would have conceded 2 goals. So I'm sorry, and I like him. I've explained why I think he's struggling, but he is getting a donkey. He is. He's getting a 4. It was a poor performance.
I'll tell you what, I agree with that because you got to put it into the context of who we were playing against, and there was no danger in that game. There was no danger in that game at all until he fucked up, and then we nearly dropped points because of him. So he deserves a donkey, in my opinion.
He does. Right, Gary, the man mountain that is Kurt Zuma.
He was imperious, right? Yeah. Imperious. The guy was just he got his head on everything. He was organising. He was physical. It's another one that loves a physical battle, just like Paqueta and Alvarez.
Yeah.
Really seems to enjoy it. Doesn't care if he gets kicked, does he? I mean, he just turns his leg around again and gets up, doesn't he?
He got some batterings there as well.
He really did. They went for him. They weren't backward in coming forward, that team. They were a team of big lumps. When I saw them in the tunnel, fucking hell, they were massive, all of them. I thought there's going to be a small one in a minute, and there wasn't.
There's a lot of love for Zuma in the chat.
Yeah, I'll easily give him a 9 in this game.
Yeah. No, I'm going to agree with that. And do you know what? What would you rate him on his performance as a captain since he's been given that armband?
Been brilliant.
I'd say 10 out of 10 really for him.
Well,
he's been a real leader. He's been fantastic.
I'll give him 9 out of 10 because he's got to organise Aguerd. Someone's got to shout at Aguerd in that situation, right?
Right, Soufal. I'll take Soufal. Look, he redeemed himself with a couple of tackles. I'll say that there was a couple of really good tackles towards the end that he made, which saved him from a 4. Because I was not impressed with him at all. Like I say, look, it's not personal. It's not anything against the player. You can't hate him. He's like Souček. They're really honest, hard-working guys, but he's got limited ability, and it's becoming a bit of a problem for me. I think we need to, especially if you're playing this style where you're only as strong as your weakest link. We've got to start getting the weak links out. It kind of makes sense to me. Yeah. So for me, I'm going to go for a 5. I'm not going to donk him up. What do you reckon on Soufal, Gary?
I'd go with a 5. I think that it was really good news that we didn't let Kera go, and we didn't let we didn't really let anyone go, did we? No. I would have liked to have seen Ings go somewhere else. Not because I dislike Ings, but I think he just don't suit us, and it's a waste of time putting him on the pitch. Yeah. So yeah, I'd say a 5. I've not been impressed with Soufal at all this season so far. Because we've upgraded the team. He's even more been exposed as a weak link, isn't he?
I think we're moving on from these players. I think is it possible that the checks have expired? Possibly. Are they bouncing?
Yeah. I mean, it's how you see it. Roger, harsh on Koofs. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's just how we saw it, right? I mean, it's nothing personal.
It's not personal at all.
He's not getting a donkey. He's not getting a donkey.
Great. We didn't donk him up. Gary Ward-Prowse. Quiet game for him, I thought.
It was a quiet game. He was he was busy. Yeah. He was all over the pitch. He was trying to get involved. There was a few misplaced passes, which you don't usually get from him. But at least he's trying them. He's still trying to get the ball forward at the first attempt, right? I think he's a bit of class, Ward-Prowse. I really do. Yeah. But I think in this game,
that jumped. Right.
Yeah. In this game, he weren't up to the level of some of the best performers. So I'll give him a 7. He was still good though, and you got to give him a 7 for that pinpoint cross onto Zuma's head.
I said it in my my review that I did because he took about 4 corners, and there was a few people that was criticising him. If you look, he didn't take one bad corner; they was all put into good areas. But for whatever reason,
they're giants.
We weren't attacking them as much as what.
Yeah, but we ain't going to play many teams who are that tall, right? No. We're going to be taller than most teams. I would say that, out-muscled. Someone said, David Granger said, out-muscled. Yeah, maybe, but he
made a couple of silly mistakes.
He did. But you got to say,
but I don't think I would have gone a 7. Everyone is, but I wouldn't have gone a 7 on that one for him. I thought but no, I haven't said that I would have because he got an assist. You're right.
Yeah. That's why I gave him a 7. Yeah, but then you got to look at the value that we've got out of Ward-Prowse in 4 games.
It's ridiculous. The return we've got is ridiculous.
It's outrageous, isn't it? It's outrageous.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Right, Alvarez. I'm taking the same opinion. The same opinion of you when you gave your kind of talk about him after the Brighton game. I did similar. I mean, we was right on top of the pitch, and Alvarez is some fucking presence. He controls the game. He literally does. He's a man. Well, he's not the tallest, but he is a man mountain of a player.
Yeah.
He's intimidating. He's fucking solid in the tackle. He swallows everything up. He senses danger. His use of the ball. I mean, when you think about it, this is a traditional number 6, somebody that is there just to do blocking. But this is a guy that's got some serious passing ability as well and ball carrying ability. He can do a bit of everything to a really high level. In fact, the goal that we scored, the first goal, he was integral to that. You know, that period of 1-2s he was playing. You know, before he gave the ball to Paqueta for the cross.
Yeah,
he's
brilliant.
He's a fantastic fucking player. You know, probably he probably would have been my pick for man of the match. It was out of 3 of them, but for me, I thought he was outstanding. So that's a 9 for me.
I just love him. I think seeing him play has opened my eyes as to what a player in that position can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He can do so many different jobs, and he's just like the police, isn't he? Back there, he's just watching.
But Joe, he looks scary. Do you know he's one of those players? I don't know. You saw it against Brighton. Do you remember that passage of play where he was in our own 18-yard box and he turned in and out and he got out of trouble? He ain't the type of player that people really want to get in his face.
No,
he don't seem to. He don't seem to be.
No.
He's got a bit of presence about him, and I like that. I like that. And the only thing he did make me nervous with that tackle, but it was bang on. He got it bang on.
He did. Clean tackle. I love having him in the team. You know, with him in the team, I think the possibilities are endless. I've got to be honest. In playing this, since he's come in, I've started to realise that the low block is actually probably quite possible against most teams. That's what I'm saying. He's a vital ingredient to that system. But did you hear what he said after the game?
I love how parking the bus has been given a technical name now.
Did you hear what he said after the game?
Yeah,
Alvarez. He speaks very good English, by the way. And he said, yes, I think the manager can see now that when we hold on to the ball and push forward, we can make good things happen, or something like that.
This is going to become a problem as the season progresses if we don't. If this is the thing, he's going to have to be a little bit more expansive with the players that we've got, because even Alvarez, he's come from fucking Ajax. You know, they're a football team, so they're all going to want to have the ball, and we've got good players. If you look throughout the team, if you got Kudus, if you just look at the graphic, you know, Paqueta, Alvarez, Ward-Prowse, Ben Rama, Bowen, Aguirre, Emerson, these are all players that are better on the ball, arguably, than they are off it. You know
what Sam says here about enjoy Alvarez because he's soon be dropped. No, he won't. No, he won't.
No.
Moyes can see what's in front of him, and that is quality, right? That is quality, and he's properly a Moyes player. He's a Moyes style player.
Gary, move on to Paqueta.
Paqueta. Yeah, all right. Go on. Me, right? Okay.
Your turn.
Oh, it's my turn. Right, you take him. Right, okay. So Paqueta was like he was the engine of our team, wasn't he? He was the one that provided the grit and the intelligence. You know, he was the one that unlocked their horrible tight defense, their low block. That is the difference between us and Luton, players like him, because they really couldn't handle him. He was all through the first half trying to find where the space was, and eventually found that little couple of yards, and that's all he needed. And then ping, what a great cross. But the thing I particularly enjoyed was watching him and Alvarez. And I know I'm a sicko for saying this, right? I particularly enjoyed watching him and Alvarez defend. Because they love a battle. The physical battle, the more physical, the better. It's like he actually plays with a smile on his face in situations like that. It's like they're in the trenches together. You know what I mean?
I know.
So it was he was outrageously good, and
apparently he was very angry when he went off. Doddsy saw this. There was a bit of a kerfuffle in the. There's a few people that have told me this, so I heard. I didn't see it, but there was a few people that said there was an issue when Paqueta went off. He was getting frustrated anyway, but then when he got pulled off and he went and sat down on the bench, there was a bit of an argument going on. Apparently, Paqueta and Kudus, or whoever it was, just stormed straight down the fucking tunnel, and Paqueta gave his shirt to a Luton fan, according to Doddsy.
Really?
Apparently, he was absolutely fuming. He clapped us, but he was not happy with something that David Moyes has done. I don't know what it was, or we don't know what it is.
What happened was if you remember we
took our pace and our threat off.
Yeah, the minute after Paqueta, after Kudus stepped on the pitch, they scored.
Yeah,
right.
Well, there you go.
It was nothing to do with Kudus, but it was it was just, you know what happens when you take your threat off, like you say, when you take your threat off, the other team feel more comfortable getting forward, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but he wasn't very happy. Like I say, I didn't witness any of that, by the way.
You would have thought I'd have seen that on telly, right? But I didn't.
It was Dodsey. You know, Dodsey was there. He
Does he have one too many pasties or something? Is that what we did?
I don't know. What did you give him, Gary? An 8 or a 9?
Oh, I'll give him a 9 as well. I thought he was fantastic.
He was good. He was very good. Right. Okay. I will take. I'm going to take Ben Rama. And I'm going to be kind to Ben Rama. I thought he was very, very busy. I thought they were playing a low block. I thought it was very difficult for Antonio as well. The pair of them. I thought his finishing was fucking shocking. Some of his decision making was bad. But I will say, I always speak to my son whenever I go to a game. Ben watch it, and I haven't got Ben with me. Ben watches on TV. Ben's very critical of Ben Rama, and he said he weren't that bad, Dad. He said he was making a nuisance of himself. He said he was tracking back. He was putting in a bit of a shift. So I'm not going to donkey him up. I'm going to give him a 5 off the back of that.
He was defending, but to be fair, he was on the pitch to try and unlock their defence, and he went nowhere near unlocking their defence. He's better from the bench. I hate to say it, but he's better from the bench. He's a great substitute, right? Super sub. You know, whenever he starts a game, rarely when he starts a game does he set it alight.
Let's face it, he needs replacing in the starting lineup. We know that. You know,
I think if you're going to play that system, as soon as Kudus is warmed up, then surely he gets that place, because it's a fluid system that we play anyway. Generally, with the flair players, isn't it? So it ain't like he should be Kudus stuck out on the left. You know, you can get him and Bowen to switch over. You can do all sorts. You can get Antonio to drop out wide and him go inside. If you do it intelligently, you can do that, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
But if alternatively though, if he gets Kudus in and makes him do what Ben Rama does and run up and down the fucking touchline, protect Emerson on that side, to be fair, doesn't need it. He doesn't need it. Bowen, he needs it over the other side, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He does. Right, Gary, your turn. Antonio.
1 second. There are people denying that happened. So Dodsey, one pasty too many, right?
I didn't see it.
Right.
I didn't see it. Dodsey is in the chat, by the way.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, Seb's saying he's from the hood. Mexico's most violent city. Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, and he comes from a rough place as well. Paqueta. That's why they love the bell. Billy M said it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Says bullshit about Pat giving his shirt away. Yeah. And KPWHU says I didn't see Kudus storm off the pitch, and I didn't either. And I was watching on telly, right?
I didn't. I thought all of the players came over, but Dodsey was over in the corner though. I think he was over in the corner. So I think he might have seen. He was a bit close to the action. So I don't know. I'm
not saying it didn't happen, Dodsey, but you know, it's just people didn't see it anyway. So
I was there and I didn't see it. So
is it me for Antonio or?
Yes, yeah, you.
Well, I thought he had a poor game. I got to be honest. I thought he was he was quite weak. He was heavily policed by their two.
It wasn't his fault. He wasn't getting no change out of him.
He was heavily policed by their two massive centre halves, and also their massive midfield were dropping back and closing him down as well. He was basically occupying defenders. That was his job. So he's never going to look good in that kind of system.
He did try. Well, look. At the end of the day, what Antonio's good at is when we're playing against the team, when we're playing our low block. You know, Antonio is just occupying a couple of defenders, but this was different. He was having to play in between two banks. He had no space at all. He tried every single. I think there was 3 centre backs. They played a back 3, didn't they? And he tried every one. He couldn't get change out of any of them. They had his number. He tried. He put himself about. For instance, let's not forget, brilliant work for the Emerson goal that got disallowed. He did put a shift in. He was, you know, he weren't. Oh, I wouldn't say he was shit. He didn't miss any chances, did he, Antonio?
No, he didn't. I wouldn't say shit at all. I would say that he occupied the defenders, and defenders occupied him. You're bang on in what you say. That he's more suited playing against. This is why he plays well against the Arsenals and the Liverpools and the Brightons of this world, right? Because he gets a certain amount of freedom because they push up the pitch looking for goals, and it leaves him as the outball. You know, not being sat on by two big centre halves all game. So he's never going to play well against a team that plays that system. So we shouldn't really expect it. So
I mean, look, the litmus test is this. Mace has said it further on down in the chat. You'll get to his comment in a minute. A lot of people called when Antonio was putting those performances in, which were at levels that we haven't seen for probably about a year.
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying he was playing for a move, and now he hasn't got it. We're going to see in the next couple of games whether or not I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I've got to be honest. So we'll see. But I'm not saying that people are wrong. Look, he's done it before. When he signed his new contract, he then opted to go and play for Jamaica, and then he went off the boil for ages. So we'll have to wait and see. Well, look, if he does, we're a little bit fucked because we haven't gone out and got a replacement. Danny Ings ain't a replacement for Antonio.
No, he ain't. No,
Obama's not a replacement for Antonio either. Not yet. Not yet. He's not. He hasn't got enough. He's not a man yet. He's not ready yet. Not for that system. He ain't.
What I think he would do, Moyes, if Antonio got injured, is he would move Bowen central and put Kudus out on the right. That's what I think he would do.
Yeah, Kudus. We'll get to Kudus, but I'll tell you what. When he came on for the last 5 minutes, because the ball was just up in the air, he looked like a deer caught in the headlights. He was like, "What the fuck is this football?"
He's never met the players before. He doesn't know how it works. You know, he probably I doubt he's even trained with them, right? So that's why Moyes must have given him a couple of minutes. Antonio, I'll give him a 6.
Yeah, he weren't terrible. It wasn't.
It was a thankless task.
Yeah. Oh well, it often is. It often is. He's always going to be better when we play counter attack. I think.
Yeah, definitely.
You know.
Was the pitch bad? Was the pitch bad? Hammer saying the pitch was so bad. Benny didn't have a chance because I thought every Premier League club had to have that same sort of semi.
The pitch didn't look great.
Right. Okay. I thought everyone had to have the same pitch now. That what used to be £1 million pitch.
I mean, I saw Antonio twice stamping bits of turf back in. He was walking around putting.
Right. Okay.
So it was cutting up. Bowen. I thought Bowen put in a decent shift again. Scored a good goal. I thought he was no more than that. No, I'm being unfair. You know, particularly in the second half, he was battling. He showed some real moments of quality, to be quite honest. I mean, he is one. Him and Paqueta won the corner for the second goal, if you remember. It was. You know, he did play well. He did play well, and he scored a very, very shit header. I will say. I don't know what the keeper was doing there. But I'm not going to give him an 8, as a lot of people are calling in there. I'll give him a 7. Weren't his best game. He weren't at his best either, I don't think.
Weren't his best, but I think he was defending quite a lot, like he does in some games.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's and this is the problem. This is the problem with having Soufal in the team, is that it falls upon it diminishes Bowen's game because he has to concentrate on backing him up all the time. He shouldn't have to, should he?
Where did Ings get his hair weaved? Chernobyl, someone said. Gary, Pablo Fornells.
NA,
not applicable.
You know what? I can't remember.
I'm just going to 6 him up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna 6 him up.
Yeah, right. Pitch is so new it cuts up easily, but I thought they were like half grass and half like material woven into them, whatever it is. Yeah.
You talking about Danny Ings' head or the pitch?
Yeah, both. Yeah.
Right. So Annie Dings, I'm going to go for. Do you know what? I was fuming when he got brought on. I thought, not him, not Ings, not Ings. Fuck no, not Ings. Yeah. He did well. He did well when he came on. He held the ball up really well.
He always works hard.
He worked really hard for the time that he was on the pitch. I thought he didn't do anything wrong. And you know what? I think I was a bit frustrated. He's the reason why we haven't got our striker. You know that, don't you? Basically, we couldn't afford to have a 120 grand striker as backup. So the fact that we couldn't move him on is the reason why we couldn't bring another striker in. Unfortunately, that is what's happened. But you also need some players at West Ham that are going to be happy playing backup and second fiddle. I think he is. And apparently he's really good around the changing room. A lot, the players like him. He has got quality as well. I read a story that Danny Ings has really helped Bowen work on his finishing. Really helped him.
Okay, good.
Look, but sort of rating him for the game, for the time that he was on, I'm going to give him a 7. I'm going to give him a 7 because he couldn't have done any more in that period of time that he was on. I'm going to give him a 7. He was fine. He was good.
Listen, I'm not going to have a go at Ings. I think he always works his socks off. He can't help it that he's thrown in, like Skamaka, thrown into a system that's foreign to him. Yeah. I mean, he offers nothing in the squad, but he did head a crucial ball off the line against Brighton last week. Yeah. Right. I know. That was good.
Next, we've got the new guy who I haven't got an updated thumbnail for. we've got to come up with a new song because it sounds like Judas when we're singing it, so that's no good. We can't be singing that to him.
Well, what were they singing?
Judas.
Oh,
It sounds like Judas. That's no
shit,
good.
isn't it? That's shit.
That's
Needs to get a bit more inventive.
Yes. So Gary, you can take Caduce. I think it's probably a 6, isn't it? Yeah.
Did you hear the new version of the Tottenham song, which is much better than the old one? So running around Tottenham with our European Cup, singing, "I've got a trophy, haven't you?"
Talking about Tottenham, guess what they were singing on Luton?
What?
Against Burnley.
Oh,
Tottenham
we're massive.
are massive. Everywhere we go.
Wankers.
They just want to be like West Ham, don't they?
They do. They want to be us. They want to be us so bad.
They
just
want to
can't
be like
be.
West Ham.
They can't be.
Right, Gary,
Wait till the Harlem Globetrotters and Spurs come down and face the low block of West Ham. We'll see.
If it was me marking Caduce, I'd say below average because I thought he looked like a fucking dick.
Oh, come on. I think he just got a cab to the game that night, Nick. You can't mark him. Give him a non-applicable.
A non-applicable 6. All right. Yeah. Donkey? Should I donk him up?
No,
I'm only joking. No, I'm just saying he looked very... I'm only marking him on his performance when he came on, not as a player.
There wasn't a performance. He literally touched the ball twice, I think. Kind of got near the ball twice.
I ain't even going to talk about this prick. I've never been so wound up with a referee. 1. He was shit, honestly. I don't know how bad it seemed on TV, but he was really pissing me off, that ref.
I agree with what Usual Suspects is here, though. Ings is absolutely blameless. He is. He doesn't deserve any hate. He's doing he's doing his best. Think Skamaka when you look at
Ings, but what it is, we all know that he can't play that Antonio role. So when he gets brought on for Antonio in this system, you start thinking to yourself, fucking hell, you know?
Yeah.
But no, the referee was shit. Honestly, he was terrible. Right, Gary, David Moyes. Before we do this, by the way. Listen, after all of the peer pressure that I've suffered over the past week or so and everything else, which I have, right? I'm gonna make a little token gesture. Now, I know we've got a couple of Moyes supporters that are in the chat, so please don't take it personally. But for all the people that gave me all the shit that you have done, that's going straight back on his fucking head.
No, don't.
No,
it
is.
Deserve it. Take it off.
No. It's not.
Be horrible.
No. Listen, it's going to go back on his head for now, just as a token gesture to all those fuckers that jumped on me. So that is fine.
I'll tell you what. No, Nick, don't just make because look. Listen. I disagree with you. Probably most people in the chat disagree with you. So let the people in the chat decide, right?
Shall I do it? Shall I do a poll?
Do a poll. Want to see Moyes? Because if you don't get,
I'm going to do a poll. I'm going to do a poll. Okay.
If he don't get if he don't get a 4, he ain't getting a donkey. So tell us what you think for Moyes, because I'll give him a 6 or a 7 for that.
Okay. Well, no. Go on. Talk to me about Moyes then while I put this in the chat.
Well, Moyes, I think, did exactly what we thought he would do. I was pleased to see he put an attacking player in Ben Rama on the pitch, but I think he couldn't do anything else because there's some sickos in the chat. I tell you, really, you're supporting him, aren't you? Right? Yeah. So yeah, I think he.
There we go. Start a poll.
He did what we expect. Oh, he done a poll. He did what we expected. I think it was the donkey must remain. Remove the donkey. Sack Moyes. Moyes 1. Keep the donkey. Fucking hell. This Moyes. Is just
donkey. Yes or no. There you go. It's in the chat. I will leave it with you. I will leave it with you.
Yeah. The poll decides it. Nick doesn't.
The poll decides. That's fine.
Yeah. So I think definitely a donkey, son. Moyes 12. This is the great thing about this channel, right? You can all say what you like. You can love Moyes. You can hate Moyes. It's up to you. It's up to you.
It's close run at the minute. It's close run.
Yeah.
Come on. Oh no, it's creeping up to 50. That's no good.
I need to vote, don't I?
Don't you? No, you can't vote. You got to be in. I'm voting then.
No, I can't vote. I don't know how to. We'll just cancel each other out anyway. Moyes still a donkey. Nick, keep voting. He probably does, Carino. He probably does.
Yeah. So go on. What were you saying?
Well, I think he done what we expected him to do. Nothing more, nothing less. I thought the substitutions were a bit crap. I've got to say. It does seem to be that his subs tend to go in the order of seniority. And giving Kudus 2 minutes at the end was just pointless. Got to be honest. And it upset the team a little bit, didn't it? That could have cost us. So yeah, I'll give him a 6. I wouldn't give him a 7.
Give him a 6. No, I won't disagree with that. Like I say, I'm not putting a donkey on there as indicative of his.
It's a personal thing. I know. It's a personal thing.
Yeah, but not against Moyes now.
But you know,
it's actually not against Moyes. It's
no,
not.
I know. No,
it's
no,
not
it is if it's on his head. If it's on his head, it's
not. It's not though. Is it?
Listen, what's the result of the poll?
Right, hang on. It's very close. I can run it for a little bit longer. There's 173 votes. It's 56 to 44 at the minute.
Are you trying to let the
no?
donkeys catch up?
If I stopped it now, then it's No's catching up. If I stopped it now, then it would be a yes. The donkey goes on. Do you want me to run it for a little bit longer?
Yeah. If he's getting a donkey at the moment, I'd like to run it for another half hour. Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, it shows we've got a fucking divided chat here, haven't we?
Yeah.
Proper divided.
Yeah, but it isn't.
I like
listen,
it,
yeah,
I
but
like it. It's good. That's healthy, right?
But you know something? I think that most people see this is just a bit of fun.
Yeah, it is.
That is all it is.
Yeah,
that is all it is.
But you know, if you keep that donkey there, you're going to go viral on Twitter again tomorrow.
I honestly don't give a fuck.
I will as well.
I don't care. Ben's off Twitter now, so I don't mind. They can fill their boots.
Paul Sullivan, I could never warm to him ever.
Right, I'm closing.
Don't devalue the donkey. Go on,
tell you what,
what's the result?
Close. What I'll do is each week I'll run the poll for the donkey.
Donkey stays, or I cancel my membership.
It's going up. It's going up now, Gary. So there's no chance.
What? So it's a donkey, is it?
It's a donkey. Yeah.
You sick bunch of fuckers in the chat.
There
really
you go.
are.
See, it weren't me, everyone. Right.
I can't believe you supported him. I can't believe it.
Right. So, what next? What are we doing next? So, Gary, talk to me about Europe.
Yeah. So the draw happened on Friday. Friday afternoon. I missed it.
No. Yeah, talk to me about Europe while I'm doing a man of the match.
Oh yeah, poll. Yeah. All right. Go on, do a man of the match poll. Yeah, right. You do the chat as well. So yeah, we were in Group A, seeded. Yeah. For the Europa League draw. It's a very, very strong competition this year, isn't it? I mean, we ended up with, I think, when you consider what we could have had, I think it's a good draw. You know, Olympiacos are strong, but beatable. Freiburg of Germany are strong, but well beatable. Yeah. And the bonus one, Baka Topola, whoever they are.
Who are they?
I don't know. I think they're
Serbian
or something.
Team? Is that the Serbian team?
Yeah, apparently we get about 57 away ticket allocation to that one.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to go to travel to Freiburg. That's the ban from that game last season. Apparently Olympiacos, apparently Athens is going to be a bit of a hellhole when it comes to violence and stuff. So, you know, hope it all goes well there. But I think looking at that group, there's no reason why we can't win that group. I would say that Moyes will take the similar approach he's always done, and that is to play a 75% Premier League team and a few different players in there. We'll give a few a rest, like Zuma, I would imagine. You know, so I was happy with that. I was really happy with that. When you look at the group that Brighton have got, I mean, fucking hell.
Yeah, that's
Ajax,
harsh.
Marseille, and AEK Athens.
I did watch a show on the teams that we're going up against. Gary. They are all apparently the dreaded low block teams. Part of the bus teams. So they're not progressive. They're very sort of, I don't know, Luton-esque, if you like. And there's a couple of them as well. Like Olympiacos ain't going to be an easy place to go. No, but we should top that group. We should bring
Mavropanos back to play in Athens as well, right? So he'll love that. And I think when you look at the other
close run thing, sorry, by the way, just to interrupt, Zuma got it.
Right.
Zuma got it. 53%.
Same as the telly then.
And Alvarez, quite a close second.
Yeah, he got it on TV as well. We got it on Sky. So Rangers, Real Betis, Sparta Prague, and Limassol in Group C. Group D, which is Skamaka's group, Atalanta, Sporting, Sturm Graz, Rakow, whatever they are. And then Group E, Liverpool, Lask, Union, Saint, whatever, and Toulouse.
Yeah.
Group F, Villarreal, Rennes, Maccabi Haifa, and Panathinaikos. Group G, Roma, Slava Prague, Sheriff, Servette. And finally, Group H, Leverkusen, Karabag, Moldy Karabag, and Hacken. Yeah. Right? So there's a couple of weak groups. I think we've probably got the second weakest group. I think that last one I read out was the weakest. Karabag, Mold, and Hacken. Leverkusen have had a right result there. I think when you look at some of the others,
obviously Leverkusen we want to fucking avoid after pre-season.
Yeah, and I think Liverpool have got a relatively straightforward group as well, if I'm being honest.
Mm.
But they were always, Liverpool going to get through anyway, weren't they? Yeah, Rangers will probably get knocked out because it's Rangers, right? But yeah, I'm looking forward to this tournament. I think it's going to be good, and if we can get a few more wins, get through the group. There is the bonus that if you finish third in this, you can drop into the Conference League. But I don't want that. I want to try and go all the way in the Europa League. Imagine a West Ham Liverpool final in Dublin.
Yeah. It'd be amazing. It would be amazing. But we've got a good chance. What round do you think we're going to meet Atalanta in?
Well, I think if you think about it, right, there's only the group of 32, and then there's the quarters. No, group of 16.
It's last 16.
Round of 16. If you win the group, which I think we will, if you win the group, you get a bye in the next one, straight into the last 16. So you have last 16, last 8, last 4. So you could basically play up to 4 of these good teams.
Yeah.
Depending who gets through, but they're all going to knock each other out and stuff anyway. So we've got to see who's left afterwards. I don't see a team in there.
Yeah.
That's going to trouble.
Whoa! Sorry to interrupt. Orange Tommy says, "Can we give Gary? What did Gary Neville say about Paqueta?"
Oh, he said, correct me if I'm wrong, Tommy, but he said that it's amazing that it took a bid from Man City to finally see Paqueta start playing well.
Fuck off! He never said that.
Something like that, wasn't it, Tommy? I think. Just confirm
wow!
That.
Really?
Yeah. I think that was it.
Or maybe it took a bid from Man City before pundits started taking notice of him.
Exactly, he was playing well for the last half of last season, right?
Yeah.
I think it shows when you watch these pundits. It's like the comments on Declan Rice tonight. No. What it shows very blatantly is they don't take any interest in West Ham at all. They just comment on what they see in front of them, right? They didn't notice anything that Paqueta did, like setting up the goal for the final and all that sort of stuff. All that entertaining he did at the London Stadium. He was taking the piss, wasn't he? But yeah, I think Gary Neville should get a donkey without a shadow of a doubt. He was fucking useless.
Yeah, no, I know.
He's getting worse. He's turning into Andy Gray. You know what? When he first started, him and Carragher, I think Carragher still does it, to be fair. That is, they used to do their homework, their research, and they used to turn up fully prepared and have a lot to add to a game that they're commentating on. Now I don't think they bother. I think he kind of finds out who he's going to watch on the way to the ground.
Yeah, I know. Right, very, very quickly, before we open the phone lines, I'm going to call Nolly first. So I've got Nolly, he had to go to bed last week, so I'm going to call him first. I'm going to open with C-Bomb, so that'll be fun. So we get Nolly on. And...
Did you read that?
What's that?
Did you see Rice run to the Arsenal end thinking they were all going to grab him and one patting him on the back?
Yeah, badge kissing prick. So he was licking his badge, wasn't he?
The Ajax.
Yes, Gary. Verdict on the transfer window. Look, what are your thoughts? Do you think we're covered, or do you think we? What would you rate? Well, first of all, give me a rating out of 10.
7.
You give it a 7. Yeah, I think I'd go with that.
Yeah, I think it was short a striker. Spare striker would have taken it up to a 9. You get 2 points for a striker, right? Yeah. And a right back would be the other point. They were the positions, right?
Yeah. No, but I think on the whole, when you look at it, when you look at the window, when you look at how awful we all felt. No, but how awful we all felt a few weeks back. How the Declan Rice saga dragged on and on and on. We eventually sold him. We was full of trepidation. We thought, how are we going to replace him? And then, we've gone and we've plucked, Alvarez, James Ward-Prowse. Also, the best signing of the window is Lucas Paqueta, who we didn't lose.
Oh yeah.
So we've retained him. Also, Pablo Fornals, who we thought we were going to lose. He stayed.
Yeah. Kera, everything.
Kera. So there was a lot of rumours of players going out. So I think it was a very, very strong window. I do think that for me, possibly a right back, a left back would have been good as well. I would have liked that Martson from Chelsea on loan. He's excellent because Cresswell's not a suitable backup, I don't think. When you look at what Emerson offers you, Cresswell doesn't offer that. If Emerson gets injured, we haven't got a backup for him, I don't think. And obviously Kudus, fantastic, really, really exciting. But the big one for me was a striker. I do think that we needed a striker, and we needed to send Mabama out on loan. That's personally what I think. I think we should have sent him out on loan because I don't think he's going to get much game time.
He will in Europe. He'll get starts in Europe.
Do you think he will? Well, I hope
think
he does.
will.
But if he doesn't, it's disgusting, and it will have wasted a year of his development, in my opinion. Because it would have been if he stays and he plays, fine. But if he doesn't,
I agree with you. You can't waste him. He's got to get game time because he's just going to go to hell otherwise. I'm sure he'll get used in Europe. I really am because he was getting a lot of games in pre-season, wasn't he? He wasn't, Oh,
are you happy we retained Antonio? I've got to be honest, I am.
Well, yes, I am now. Bearing in mind, because we haven't signed another striker, so of course I'm happy. We need him, don't we? We need him in the way we play. Or we needed someone else to come in that can play that way, because that is the way we play.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have been really optimistic that Nesri could have done it. I don't think that guy from PSG could have done it, Ekitike. I don't think he could have played that role. He's a very good player, but he's not for that system.
He can play wide left.
Yeah, he's not for that system. Someone said earlier about he's left-footed Kudus, so you can't play him on the left. Well, I think you can. I mean, you just have a traditional left winger playing on the left. I know that he likes to play inverted wingers. I know. No, but I know he likes to play inverted wingers. But I'm just saying he could play on the left if you let him.
What about Cornet? I mean, he's a bit of an odd one, isn't it? I mean, is he ever going to play? Do you think he'll play in Europe? He might play in Europe, mightn't he?
Cornet, I was convinced he was going, and then it all went quiet, didn't it? We got the typical last day West Ham of don't go to bed, go to bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, look, let's get this phone in started, Gary.
Yeah, go on then.
Well, going to give Nolly a call, then I'll open the lines. Hopefully he's ready. He was in bed last time. Oh no, hang on a minute.
That's good. From Tommy, it says winning our group would mean we play our last. Oh no, we don't want this. Oh, second leg at home. Oh right, perfect. Yeah. Oh, that's good news. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Well, that's the all important thing, isn't it?
Yeah. But we did well. But we had them the opposite way round last year, and we still won, didn't we? So I don't really care too much. But it's nice to have it if you can get it, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it is.
No, we don't get any credits from pundits apart from BT Sport.
Hang on, mate. I ain't connected you to me box of tricks yet. I was a bit premature. It's always my problem.
Cornet can play it right back. Can he? He plays left side, doesn't he? Cornet.
Is he there? Yeah. Nolly, can you hear us?
Flynn Downs lost 5 on his debut. Oh, yeah, they lost 5-0, yeah, to Sunderland.
What happened?
With Flynn Downs for Southampton, they got dumped 5-0 by Sunderland. Well done, how much you flying? All right, Danny. It's cousin Danny. Right, Dan.
Hello, Dan. Is this working? I don't think it is.
Danny was telling me earlier I've got to show Moyes some love. I said, no, Dan. No.
Don't swear. Nolly, I'll have to give you a call back. I'll call you back. Hang on. 1 minute. It's fucking... Do you know, this worked first time last week.
January window, we don't do any... Usually... No, Tim was fantastic. I mean, look, the players we've brought in, we really did spend that Rice money well. I mean, apparently we've got a 17 million surplus. We haven't spent all of the money we brought in. No. Which is, I suppose, good. In that we'd have a little bit of money left for January.
I'll tell you what, I'm sitting there, I'm sweating.
But what you've got to do, this is how teams...
Can you hear that, Gary?
Yeah, it's ringing.
Oh, that's fine. Go on. Let me call Nolly back.
Yeah. This is what teams do. They take... Unless you're a Brighton or a Brentford, they kind of take the money.
Mate.
Hello, Nolly.
Hello, Nolly.
Good?
I'm all good, mate. Yourself?
Hello, mate. Yeah, all good, mate. All good.
How you feeling? Have you? I'll tell you what. I bet you weren't expecting this start that we've had.
Mate. Honestly, I am over the fucking moon. I ain't saying over the moon. Like doing Chelsea was sweet. Yeah,
it was, wasn't it?
But doing Brighton.
Yeah,
come on.
I was there, Nolly. It was a good day.
And then Luton at their place.
Yeah.
Their place reminds me of an old Upton Park a little bit. You know,
Luton, yeah. It does. In terms of atmosphere, it does as well. When you're in there, obviously, look, it's smaller, but it gives you. You've got that feeling, and like I said, it kind of the crowd were a 12th man in there. They were. They've got the ability to do that in a stadium like that. You know, so yeah.
I mean, what they did to Zuma and Bowen,
I was getting right in there.
What we used to give the chicken shed.
Yeah.
The chicken shed used to give that to them players.
I know.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Are you against it? I'm personally not. I think it's all part and parcel. I know the players didn't like it because they're not used to it. They're not used to it, are they?
No, you've got to have it. That's what football's all about, mate. I remember once shouting to West Ham when a free kick was on. They all stand there. Don't just stand there. Fucking practice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we were that bad at the time. So yeah, I love it, mate. I want to be able to call a player CUNT, and I want him to look up and I'll be going, yeah, it's me.
Yeah, but the thing is, you hear that from a lot of the ex-pros when you go to these. We go to quite a few of the charity nights, and you hear the old pros talking about it. And it weren't just the away fucking players that used to get it. If we weren't performing, we'd let our own players know. And that's the thing.
That's West Ham for you.
Yeah. We'd let our own. You wouldn't tolerate it.
Absolutely. But I'm thrilled with the start. I won't lie. I'm absolutely thrilled with the start.
Yeah.
I'm a bit gutted that we didn't sign centre forward.
Yeah,
I think we've missed a boat there. I think we've missed a boat there. If we get an issue with Mickey, we're gonna struggle, won't we?
Yeah, we are. And putting like Mo Kudus or Bowen in there, it's just going to deflect from what they actually are. And Skamaka cracked in two last night.
I know.
His own debut for Atlanta.
I know.
It just makes me sick, really, letting him go. But I have to say, we're looking like the side we were not last year, but the year before. We're looking.
Yeah.
The lockdown
year. I think the lockdown year we're looking like that. Do you remember when we got Lingard? It was kind of that sort of counter attack. That sort of counter attack.
Can't talk to me about him.
Would you sign him? Have you not seen the news? Would you sign him?
Nolly,
we haven't.
Nolly, what do you think we were going to do with? Apparently, we nearly signed Kostic. What do you reckon we were going to do with him? He's a right winger, isn't he?
Benny. He was a left winger.
Benny.
I would have preferred Kostic, and I would have preferred that. Was it Esika or Esika or whatever he's fucking called?
Ekatiki.
Yeah. That's him, yeah. I was hoping we'd get one of them two over the line, but I don't really want Lingard back. And it's not because he probably won't play well. It's just that the way he treated us last year. Yeah, I'm like an elephant. I don't forget.
No, I'm the same.
I think the geezer's there.
I think he's coming though, Nolly. I think he's coming.
I don't think he will.
Oh, he's coming.
Yeah, I think he's coming.
I know he's coming because he's watching his own videos with his hands in his cock.
Yeah.
I don't want him. I don't want him at the club, mate. He showed no love for us when we gave him the chance twice.
I'll tell you what, Nolly. Ian Arth's going to have to put in some fucking good performances if he does come back to win the fans back over again. I mean, football fans are fickle. We are fickle. If he comes in and bangs in a couple of goals against Tottenham and stuff like that. Then...
let me put it another way, then, Nick. Right?
Go on.
Look at the player he was last year.
He was shit.
Would you sign a player? Last year, right? No goals, no assists.
No.
Right, and he went there. What did he go there for? He went there for the vision or the journey. Yeah, mate.
Also, he's been training with us now for 4 weeks. Yeah, he's been training with us for 4 weeks, and he's still. I'm not reading it, but he's still 4 weeks away from fitness to be able to play football. So he's like 8 weeks. How fucking unfit was he? If he was 2 months away from, how bad was his condition?
I think he was like me.
I think we've signed really well this year.
Yeah,
I think we've recruited really well.
Brilliantly.
I think we spent the Declan Rice money really well.
Moyes would leave his wife for Lingard.
This is a Moyes. Moyes is, I don't know what it is with ex-Manchester United players. He just wants to suck them in. We don't want to be Man United. We want to be West Ham United.
I know.
Moyes, listen. Stop fucking...
I don't know what his obsession is with Man United. I don't know what his obsession is with Man United because they fucking hated him. The players hated him and the fans hated him. So I don't know what his obsession is with Man United.
What do you think of?
He's got one, hasn't he?
Yeah.
McTominay, Maguire, Lingard. I don't want any of them.
No. What do you think, Nolly?
When we get Mavropanos fit, because he's an animal, mate, and he can score a goal as well.
I'm keen to see him. I've got to check this. Has X actually said that?
You both.
I'm going to check this now.
Nolly, just a question for you, right? Are you?
Go on, Gal.
Me and Nick are loving Alvarez. What do you think of him?
He's mustard.
Oh, I love him to pieces, mate. I wish we had him last
player,
year.
Isn't he?
What worries me, and it really worries me, and I've listened to Moyes' interview after the game saying we missed Tommy Suchek. No, we fucking didn't.
No,
exactly.
No,
I
we fucking didn't.
I know.
You know what I mean? And I'm just worried that he's going to put him in.
Well, who comes out? Who comes out?
Well, Benny, he'll come out for the City game. He'll play the same team that he played against. He started with against Brighton, right? That's what he'll do. I don't disagree with it against City because if you're going to defend, you got to do it properly.
Yeah, but you know when we've played against City before and we've done half well, it's when we've had a go at them and tried to peg them back.
Yeah, I know.
You don't sit. You don't sit deep against City. You can't low block them. Foden's going to dance in and out of all the fuckers. He will. He's. Have you watched him, Foden? He's on fire.
Nick, I'm a realist, right? We ain't getting fuck all out of City. If we got a draw, right, I'd be running around the fucking block naked.
Yeah.
But we ain't even going to get that, right? They are the best team in the world, and there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
But if we can hold it down to 1 or 2, and I'm being a realist,
I can't see it. Sorry, I can't see anywhere where X has said that he's signed. You fucking wind-ups. They're trying to wind me up. Hang on.
No. Listen, Moyes loves him. He's in.
Yeah.
But I would like, if we can play the way we played against Brighton and Chelsea and we're nice and solid at the back, we'll only lose 1 or 2. And that's, to be honest, against them, that's respectable. Because I can't see us beating them.
Yeah.
They're a false fucking nature, the fuckers. But,
they are. They're brilliant. They're brilliant. Yeah.
I ain't really fearing no one. If we keep going the way we're going, I don't like this low block thing. I don't like it.
I hate it.
No.
It seems to work for us.
Yeah.
We've got big, tall boys in there. They're strong as an ox. If it works for us, fucking hell. Honestly, last year, Nick, in the Premier, after last year, I'll take it.
Yeah. I will tolerate it if we're getting points and we're doing well.
Tolerate is the right word.
Yeah, but that's it.
Yeah,
this is literally where I am. I will tolerate the style of football. I like the channel and stuff. Why didn't you? Oh, he's here again. Fuck me. Really? Jesus Christ.
Fuck off, mate.
All right. Yeah, go on.
Have you been watching like the Arabs have pulled out of Man United now? They might be coming for us.
Yeah. Well, I'll take that. I've got to be honest. Listen.
Yeah, so would I, mate. I ain't gonna lie. So would I.
We've got fucking porn barons running the club at the moment, so it ain't like we can take the moral high ground. You know what I mean? So
you got to remember, right?
True,
when you say porn barons, right?
Yeah.
Be careful what you're saying, right? Because they're kind of dwarf porn barons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah? It's like it's weird. It's weird.
It's like niche
weird
porn.
Yeah, it's weird, bro.
He's a weird little man.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
little legs and big hand.
Really. Yeah. I'm sure that bird he's with, I think it's his wife, really loves him.
It's his girlfriend. It's his girlfriend, not his wife.
She does.
Yeah. Did you see that video of her dancing? Did you see the video of her dancing at a wedding where he's sitting there like he's propped up, like he's dead? He's like Weekend at Bernie's. He was just sat up, propped up at the end of the table, and she's giving it all. I say you got to question his judgment though, because when he decided to get out of the porn industry, right? It was when the internet came along. He said it'd never catch on.
Oh God, yeah. He's made enough money to be fair though, isn't he? Yeah. But no.
But there you go.
No, that's good. I mean, look, and also, and that's the thing, with do you know what the big problem is? And I'm glad this is all going to settle down now because it is. But there's a big divide in the West Ham fan base. There still is with David Moyes. There is, and I think there's always going to be while he's still
want
here.
Him out, mate.
Yeah. But there is definitely a segment of fans that not everyone, because we've got Moyes in fans in the chat that follow us that support the channel as well. You know, we've got absolutely great guys in here that have always maintained that they're Moyes in. They like him. That's their choice. But they like to hear different opinions and stuff like that. But there is a segment. Yep. There is a segment of fans that literally fucking just sit there waiting for an opportunity to go, "Oh, fucking told you so." They'll start doing this. And they'll basically start going on a manhunt. And it'll happen again. Do you know if we was to lose 5 games or 6 games on our next run, and then all of a sudden we'd win a game, they'd be back out again. The fact of the matter is there is a reason.
And then he'll get.
But the thing is,
he'll get 2 games.
Yeah.
He'll get 2 games again before he gets a sack.
But what I mean is,
he's not a West Ham manager for me.
He's not. But nobody was being unreasonable in wanting a managerial change when you look at the 18 months that we had in the league. Nobody was unreasonable with that because it was shit. So it was a reasonable thing to want the manager changed. It actually was.
Any other club would have done it before.
Yeah. So it doesn't eradicate that. But look, we are where we are, and I've said it before as well. Look, listen, I don't overly like the guy, but you haven't got to. The main thing that I don't like the style of football. If something magical happens this year, if we start if we don't just start winning, but we start adopting a different fucking style and we start playing brilliant, then most people, even if you don't like him, you go, oh, do you know what? What's the point in changing him? We're fucking winning everything. The football's good. What's the point? But there's a lot of boxes that do need to be ticked for that, I think. You know, at the moment, we're happy to be winning. We are. But I do think... Go on.
He's set us up, right?
Yeah.
Not to lose.
Yeah.
But that ain't really West Ham's game, is it?
No.
We like to go and attack. Or we used to when I was a kid.
It's not. And I said this to Gary, who I went to the game with, on Gary Ford, who I went to the game with the other day. I called him Gary Fordham. It's not. It's Gary Ford. And I said to him, look, I was born into West Ham. I didn't choose West Ham. But what happened was I fell in love with West Ham through watching them and watching players and stuff like that and the style of football. That's what happened. I would never fall in... I couldn't ever see myself falling in love with this kind of style. Not really, because as much as I'm a West Ham fan and I love it, I'm also a football fan. And I said it before. I said it it to Gary as well. I said... when I watch a lot of other football. I watch La Liga quite a lot. I can't watch Atletico Madrid. I hate Diego Simeone. I fucking hate the way they play. I just don't. I have a problem with defensive football. I agree with this, which is Diggy Montana says, counter-attack done well isn't bad to watch. I agree with that. The counter-attack done with pace, yeah, I'll be perfectly happy. But we're not really doing that at the moment. Brighton wasn't really with pace. It was cracking balls out of defence, really good balls out of defence. Yeah.
I think Brighton was really good finishing, right, at the time.
Yeah.
You know, when we weren't expecting it. That's what that was. Really good finishing. And fair play to Bowen and Mickey. You know, it was fucking great. I think to say it was great.
And also, when you look at what Brighton did in the 2 games before they played us and what they've just done to Newcastle, it was a fucking good win. Because they're a good team.
Exactly.
They're a good team.
Over at home.
Can I just say one thing very quickly? Just put this to bed once and for all of you who are watching, right? Someone's Irons XXS. I said, fuck off. Didn't mean it. You'd obviously only seen the original video that some Muppet put up, which was a 10-second clip of a 2-hour video, which I responded to.
We're fed up with it.
We're fed up with it. But have a look at my Twitter feed if you're curious, at Gary_Killington on Twitter. If you scroll back through there, you'll find a video that I put up the other day that answered it. And and non-league away days. Yeah, and Nicky, look, he apologised, Nick, as well, right? He again, I said on my tweet, if you read it, right, I said on my tweet that if I'd have seen that, I probably would have reacted to it as well. Not knowing if I hadn't known Nick, because it was just
100%
deliberately done that way, right?
100%. It looked shit, and if I'd have seen that of someone else, I would have reacted as well. 100%, I would have. But the geezer that done it done me right up, the absolute prick. And then he went and said he denied it, and he said, "Oh, I weren't even watching it. Somebody sent me the clip." But then when you kind of added balance to it, the guy, he went, well, he called Moyes a wanker before that clip. I thought, well, how would you fucking know that I called him a wanker if you weren't watching it?
You've never denied you don't like Moyes, right? You've never denied it.
I'm not hiding it now. I don't. Not really.
Got a new member, Fortune's hiding down under TV. Welcome, Fortune's down.
No. Let's talk about Moyes, right? I think he's a smug CUNT, and that's the end of it.
Yes,
right?
He is.
Unfortunately, as much as I don't want it to happen, right? We're going to get turned over a few times. We've got to see, how they react to that.
Yeah.
But, I, like you two, love my fucking club to bits.
Yeah,
love them to bits. Want them to do well. If we finish 7th, I'll be happy as fuck. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah, me too.
Let's see how far we can go. If we finish 7th, we're in Europe again.
Do you know what? I'll make do with... I don't even care about the league finish, really. I would make do with just not being in a relegation battle, but having some fucking good cup runs. That would do me. Couple of cup runs, domestic and in Europe as well. That I'd be all right with that. I wouldn't be... Because, look, we're never going to get top 4, not in a million years. And in fact, getting in that kind of... in that top 7 now, you're going to have some season to get in that top 7.
Yeah.
You really are.
Do you know what, Nick? Right? If you look at Leicester, what they did, and Blackburn before them, right? We ain't far off it. If we just got I don't want to knock players out or anything like that.
Yeah.
A decent left back, a decent right back, decent centre forward. Yeah, we wouldn't be far off it, mate.
There's still
we would not be far off it.
There's still room for improvement. There's still room for improvement.
It's going to be another cup season, I reckon.
And funny enough, that's what my mother-in-law used to say to me. There's always room for improvement.
Yeah, I know. Did you say thank you to Fortune's Hiding? Thank you very much, mate.
I did. Thank you, Fortune's. Welcome
aboard.
Thank you very
much. Right, Nolly, thank you very much for the call, mate. We're going to let you go and see if anyone else wants to call in.
Cheers, Nolly.
Top
See
man.
you later.
Cheers, Nolly. Ta-da, mate.
Right.
Ta-da, mate. Ta-da,
See
mate.
ya.
Right, the phone lines are open now. If anyone does want to call in. Yeah, not him.
Unknown caller.
There we go. 1 minute.
I think what's this? Quarter-final in the Europa
Sorry.
and 8th in the league would be a good season. Yeah. I suppose. Listen, any cup run, you're not going to win a cup every year, are you? But a good cup run or two would be brilliant.
Listen, I've got a call at the moment. Oh, fuck me. I'm just trying to answer it. Hang on 1 minute.
So
right, I've got Tony on the line. Right, Gary and Jonathan, I'll call you back. Hello, Tony.
Oh, Nick, you all right?
Yeah, not bad, mate. You?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. You all right, Gal?
You're all right, Tony? Yeah, all good, thanks.
Yeah. First thing I'd like to say is that donkey stays on Moyes' head until he gets out of the club. Right, that's the first thing.
I will listen. The donkey on the head thing. That's more a dig at all the fuckers that attacked me in the last week. To be quite honest, and Moyes himself at the moment. But yeah, I'm not a Moyes fan. I'm not at all. Not at all.
No, I'm the same, mate. I'm the same. I agree with Nolly. But I've got a bit of a problem with what Nolly said. We are like the West Ham of 2 years ago, and I'm happy with what's happening. Not the style of football,
getting the results. Yeah,
I'm probably going to get some stick for this, but if we stay up comfortably and have a good cup run, I'm hoping Steiden does get to pick the new manager and get rid of Moyes, but the little dwarf will probably go, give him a 3-year contract, give him another contract, and we're stuck with that fucking idiot for another fucking 3 years. I can't stand him, Nick. I just can't stand the bloke. I don't care about these results. Yeah, I'm happy. You know, obviously I want to see it. I don't want to see us lose. No. But the more we keep getting these results, I mean, against Luton, if they'd have took their chances, and Brighton, we would have lost them games. And again, if my sister was a bloke, she'd be my brother.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying? I don't want us to lose, but the more this goes on with us winning, and I want us to pick up points. I don't want us to struggle. I'm like you. So I always want us to win.
Yeah.
But the Wolf are giving him a new contract at the end of the season if we stay up comfortably.
I'm not sure. I don't think that's going to be the case. I do think that the players that we've brought in, I think that David Moyes knows that this is his last year. I mean, I've heard a rumor himself that he thinks that this will be his last hurrah in terms of club football. I think he wants to have a dabble in international management. I think he wants to go out with a bang. I think he might do. I don't look. Me myself. I'm not his biggest fan. But nothing will get in the way of West Ham winning. Ultimately, I'll complain if the style of football ain't right. I'll still have a little whinge. But ultimately, if we're winning, and especially if it continues, if it goes into the season, we're 10, 15, 20 games in, these results just keep on fucking coming in. We're taking big scalps. We're doing this, and we're doing well in the cups. At that point, then. But what I'm saying is, I'm like you. There was fine margins in those games that we've won. So I'm not about to sort of jump on any kind of bandwagon off the back of 3 games. They don't eradicate the last 18 months in the league for me. No. But if it was to continue after 10, 15 games, then you might look at it and go, well, do you know what? Maybe we're onto something here.
I don't agree, Tony. What you said about he might give him a 3-year contract. No, I don't think he will. Right? What I think this, I'm drawing a comparison here to what happened in Allardyce's last season, because if you remember, we had quite an interesting summer. He bought quite a few players in the summer before the season, good players as well, right? And we had a blinding first half of season, we didn't come outside the top 6. We were brilliant, right?
Yeah.
And then after Christmas, everybody realised that Allardyce was going. Allardyce sort of lost interest. The players lost interest in Allardyce, and it went down the toilet. And we ended up finishing about, I think, just below halfway or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think he never, for a start, he never renews early. He will always let a contract. Sullivan
He'll
always
never
let a contract run out the whole way, right?
Yeah.
So, and if he somehow, I don't want to say this, right, but if say he went and won another cup this year, then you'd have to say he deserves another contract, right?
Even
no, he don't. No, I don't care what he wins. He don't deserve fuck all off of us. I can't wait to see him go.
No,
I hope you're right with what you're saying.
Yeah.
He does go at the end of the season, but the only way I can see him going out is if we get taken over and the new owners fuck him off out of it.
Yeah,
he'd definitely be gone.
Maybe,
He'd definitely be gone.
But there is.
We have got a talented squad, you know. I mean, with a progressive manager, a young progressive manager. Things I think we could do this year. We've got good defenders, and he comes out after that last game. We missed Souček. I'll tell you what, Benny will be dropped.
He will. He will.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, Alvarez, he's Jesus quality. I think he's better defensively than Rice.
Yeah.
I do.
I think he is as well.
Not going forward so much, but defensively he is. We've got so much talent there.
Yeah.
And like I say, with a proper manager, we could. I seriously think we could challenge for things, you know.
I can't disagree with you, and I really can't. But my Nigel made a good point on this when I was on with him last week, and he said, and he kind of convinced me, and he did say it all comes back to Sullivan. He said it's no coincidence that we've got David Moyes. It's no coincidence that we had Sam Allardyce. He said they're safe. They go safe. So he said, you know, it's all very well going like I do. You know, Moyes out.
Yeah.
And I responded to a tweet earlier on. It was at the fucking twat Central. He put a tweet out. You know, are you Moyes in or Moyes out? Yeah. And I basically went, do you know what? I said, if you offered me Xabi Alonso and Postecoglou, I'm Moyes out all day long and twice on Sunday. But if what Moyes out means is that we're just going to go out and get, I don't know, a Sean Dyche,
Rafa Benitez,
Rafa Benitez, just someone else pragmatic, then what is the fucking point? Because the football's the same.
That's the fear. I mean, Stein could identify young managers like Alonso or that, and then he'll put that towards Sullivan, and Sullivan would go, I'd rather have Benitez because he's got Premier League experience, and then we're back to square one again.
He's always kind of he'd rather back an experienced manager on the way down than a young manager on the way up. It always he's that type of person. Sullivan, he is.
I think from what we've seen from Stein with the players he wants to bring in and the way I think he wants us to play, I should let him get the next manager.
I agree.
You know, he seems to have his head screwed on. He seems to know what he's doing.
That's his job. That's his job, in my opinion, right? He should be working. Exactly. The manager should be working, or the coaches it will be.
Yeah.
Because it won't be a manager next time. It'll be a coach. The coach should be working for the director of football, Stein. So Stein needs to hire him and fire him and make sure that when that happens, when you swap a coach out in future, for instance, so we don't go through this shit again, right? In future, it's Stein's decision. This guy's got to go. And all you got to do is get rid of the coach, pay off his contract, not all the backroom staff because they all stay, right?
Yeah.
And it's just the one man, right? So it's quite a cheap thing to do.
And sorry, mate. I'm not calling you out, mate, by the way, because everyone's entitled to their opinion. But Navadius Wilburn, he says, did I really compare Moyes to Allardyce with a laughing face? Now, look, listen, I did. Because there is a comparison there in the styles of manager that they are. They are pragmatic. And what I will say is, I didn't like Allardyce. I hated him. Gary, did Allardyce ever get backed with the level of money that David Moyes?
No, he didn't. He didn't. And to be fair, right, I think Allardyce, it was a different brand of football. Allardyce, I'd say, was slightly more attacking.
It was all about getting the ball forward as quickly as that was long ball. It was getting the ball forward as quickly as you can.
Get crosses into the big man up front, wasn't it? We scored plenty of goals when we were doing well. And that was Ollie in the chat said earlier, he said Allardyce in his last season, 4th at Christmas and finished 13th, you see? Dropped like a stone. So this is just, actually, we're doing well, but we'd do bloody well to be 4th at Christmas, right? I don't think we're going to do that well.
No, we're not going to do that well. But you know, I haven't got those expectations, and that isn't really, for instance, that isn't how I'll probably judge Moyes.
Yeah.
Like I said to you, don't get me wrong. If we was to play the low block, which is parking the bus, it's a fucking terminology for parking the bus, and it stops working, and we continue parking the bus, and it continues stop working, then I'll be like, fucking get him out. But if he adapts and he starts using the players that we've got, and we start playing a bit more of a fucking palatable brand of football throughout the season, which, look, I don't know, we might do. I haven't got a clue. I can't see it. I've got to be honest. But if that happens,
he can't do that, Nick.
No,
he can't do that.
But if that was to happen, I'm not that stubborn personally. So, like I said to you, I don't have to like a manager really, providing they're giving me what it's like owners, right? You don't even give a fuck about owners while they're spending money and they're putting players. They're putting players in the club. You don't care when they're not spending money. Then you want them out and you're calling them out. It's the same with managers. If the results are coming in and they're playing a brand of football that's kind of, because a lot of people say that the brand of football is completely irrelevant. I will always disagree with that. Winning is obviously the most important thing. It is the most important thing. But to say that a brand of football and the way, I think a profile of football is important. Could you imagine Klopp getting away with parking the bus, Gary?
No, this is where I am at the moment, by the way. Luke says it perfectly. Endure Moyes for now. Enjoy / tolerate this ride while it lasts. Might even bring us another trophy. Yeah, that is exactly where I am.
Yeah. I'm like you though, Nick. The football. I mean, I watched us through the 60s, 70s, 80s, all the way up.
Yeah.
And we used to lose 4-3, but we was entertained. I remember we played Luton once. We was 3-0 up at Upton Park. Yeah. I think with 10 minutes to go, and we drew 3-3.
Yeah.
But we was an attacking side. We was entertained. Yeah. You know, that is West Ham. We don't have a lot of expectations, but we do expect to be entertained.
But the thing, but the thing is, mate, people talk about resilience under Moyes. Listen, we're scoring a lot of goals under Moyes, but I don't think we're as defensively resilient as what people think. We should be, because we've got so many bodies back. But if you look against Brighton, against Brighton, if Danny Ings don't clear that fucking chance off the line, all of a sudden, our hearts are in our mouths. Our hearts were in our mouths against Luton. Our hearts were in our mouths against Bournemouth. We're not amazingly defensively resilient. Not really. I think the only game where I don't know why, I haven't got a clue. The only game where I felt really comfortable, and I shouldn't have, was once Chelsea missed that penalty. I thought there's no way we're not winning this. I don't know why I felt like that, because they did kind of completely outplay us in the first half. But I thought this is our game. So in the second half, I felt like we were going to win it.
We have got away with it in a few games this year. If other teams that have took their chances, we'd be having a different conversation now.
But that said, it's half nice to be sitting where we are in the league at the moment. Do you know what I mean? It is lovely.
I agree with that.
Lovely.
Especially above Arsenal with Rice.
Yeah.
I don't know who this guy's in the chat, but I don't remember having a relegation battle with Sam Allardyce. Did we? I don't think we did.
No.
We were safe mid-table every year. No, we never got European football, but let's face it, our first European football was the year we come out of lockdown, wasn't it?
And let me ask you something, Navadius, right? Let me ask you something, right? If David Moyes was released now, I'm telling you now, he would not find a job in the Premier League until January, until there are a couple of teams that are in shit down the bottom that need a manager for a relegation saviour. No team that is anywhere in the top half that is building a project. For instance, Bournemouth don't get rid of Graham Potter and go and get David Moyes in.
I mean, what Kent says is
that
bang
doesn't
on.
Happen.
Big Sam did the job he's asked to do, stabilise the club. And later on, we didn't play brilliant football, but he wasn't given the budget. Like Nick said, he wasn't given the budget that Moyes has been given. But he did a great job. Bought some great players. Don't forget, he got us promoted first time, and he bought like Kevin Nolan from Premier League into the Championship. Right?
Yeah.
It was good. Well, he did a bloody good job. I know he's not a cup of tea. The cup in the air, the throwing the boys under the bus at Forest. Yeah, we never forget that. But And you know, and Gary, with the limited funds that he had, he spent well, didn't he? That last window you went back to amazingly well. You should see the list of players. Yeah.
Gary, I think with the squad of players we've got now, Allardyce would have done okay, because he had some decent players at Bolton, and they played quite good football at the time, if you remember. Back in the day.
They did.
And like you say, he had limited funds with us, and I think with this squad of players, he'd play a far different, better game than what Moyes is playing.
Yeah.
So you should get the ball forward quicker.
Yeah. No, look, let me just cut Eddie, because one minute, Gary. So Eddie, look, listen. What I don't want to do is come across as, because there are an awful lot of people out there, and I've got respect for that. There's an awful lot of people out there that admire the defensive side of the game. There are. And you know what? That's your right as a fan in terms of your taste as well. If you do that, I agree. It is a tactic. What we did against Brighton, it is a tactic, but it isn't my cup of fucking tea. For instance, in Serie A, right? This style of football, this low block, is something that was deployed by every team. It was like watching a match in La Liga was like watching a 12-round fight with no one wanting to throw a fucking punch. And that is the reason why that league is on their arse, and that's why they're trying to change their styles now. You've got Napoli playing good football. There's some others as well, because there was no neutral appeal. Nobody would tune in to watch that shit. So so yes, I agree. It's like with Atletico Madrid. If every team in La Liga played like them, could you imagine that? So it is a tactic, and it's almost like kicking sand in the face of teams that are trying to play football. In a sense,
it's a spoiling tactic.
It's a spoiling tactic.
You know, like Bolton, like Sam's Bolton used to be a set of spoilers, didn't they? And they always used to get results against Arsenal, for instance.
Yeah. No, I agree.
That's right.
I agree. But anyway, Matt, I'm going to let you go because I've got a couple of calls to call back. Cheers for that, Tony.
Yep.
See you later.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers. Well, I've got 2 callers. I've got to phone back, people. Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
Right. Good call. Cheers for that, Tone. Right. Let's call...
Very good call, yeah.
Let's call... it was Gary first and then Jonathan. So Gary, then Jonathan, all right?
What's Gary doing on third?
Hang on. He'll be fuming.
Yeah. Good chance of winning the Europa. Well, I hope so, Vinny. I hope so.
Hello, Gary.
Has he made the schoolboy error?
Gary.
Hello, mate.
Hello, mate. You all right?
Hello, Nick. Hello, Gary.
Hello, Gary. You all right?
Yes, thanks, mate. Yeah, good show tonight, lads. Been
Cheers,
listening.
mate. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
As always. I'm going to say a couple of points. First one about the transfer window.
Fuck. Do you know? Sorry, I've gone. Carry on. Talk to Gary. I'm just going to
Go on, Gary. Go on.
Go on. I've got to.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Gal. I think if we'd have got a striker in, I would have given it a sort of 9 out of 10. You know, I thought the midfield players we brought in have been absolute quality.
Incredible.
We're a much stronger side now. The Alvarez, Ward-Prowse, Kudas, brilliant. I'm only going over old Grandy, what everyone's saying tonight, but if Antonio gets injured, we've got problems because Ings can't play this system. We know that. And you've got the fan back, and Moyes is not playing him. So I suppose Moyes might say, well, I can play Bowen down the middle, play Kudas on the right, or I can put Cornet up there. But we've got so obsessed with the midfield areas, if we'd have got a striker in, I think we would have,
I think firstly, Gary, Antonio, even though it feels like he gets injured all the time, he ain't been injured for like the best part of about a year and a half or something now, or 2 years. He's been brilliant. So, but there is always a chance he gets injured. And I think, if I'm not wrong, I reckon with Kudus is going to get warmed up, right? I think what will happen if Antonio gets injured is Bowen will go up front and Kudus will go right.
Yeah.
That's what I reckon.
Yeah, that's what I think. But it would have been a shame the Brazilian player we were looking at apparently was Antonio 2.0, but 22 years of age. So obviously Steinen has obviously seen what Mike wants, and he's gone out and tried to get him.
Sorry, Gary, before we go any further, listen, look, I'm going to put this out there, right? Get analyst on, mate. You know it's right. No, I don't know it's fucking right at all. Now, I'm going to say this now. I've got no issue with debating with that guy on the phone or anywhere else, or I'll do it on another channel, but he's not going to come on our channel. This is the fucking plank that made the video of, the weird video with the fucking weird...
oh, you're joking, really?
That's him. And he's literally got all of these little fucking minions in there saying,
he ain't coming on here.
Elite ain't coming on. Fuck off.
Sorry, mate, we don't have wankers on the channel. We're not going to do it.
You can fuck off, mate.
No. Anyway, go on, Gary.
Go on.
Yeah.
Go on, mate.
Okay, mate. The other point is with the Kudas, I was trying to think, trying to fit him into the system, maybe a 4-1-4-1. So if you had back four with Alvarez sitting deep, if you played Paqueta on the left, when I say left, I mean left wing, but left of midfield, Bowen on the right, then you've got Ward-Prowse and Kudas in the number 10 behind Antonio. That could work.
Yeah.
But obviously... Whether Moyes is going to, I can't believe he's going to bring Souček back into the side against Manchester City. I mean, I suppose in one respect, he might think, well, I mean, not being funny, if we get a point out of the City game, I'll be thrilled.
Yeah, I can believe it for that game, Gary. I can believe it for that game. But, you know, because his back's against the wall, and that's the way he lined up against Brighton. And it sort of worked. It worked better when he went off, but it worked well when he was on the pitch as well. So I can see why he's trying it again, but not afterwards, not beyond that.
Yeah.
No. If you remember the Man City game the other season, we was 2-0 up and ended up 2-2. I mean, Antonio had a really good shot. And we, on the counter, we caused them so much trouble.
Yeah.
Bowen and Antonio were breaking all the time. You know, and like I say, I said last week, I think this season top 6, top 7, top 4, who knows? But, you know, end of the day, we'll just chat about defensive football. People have got to remember, Leicester won the Premier League in 2016 playing counter-attacking football.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not going to get into more debates. Everyone's got their opinions about that. But I think, you know, we're in for a really good... There's so many teams now. I think Newcastle are not going to be...
Sorry, mate. Where are all these fuckers coming from? All these little minions, look.
Just block them.
Ignore them, Nick.
Get rid, Nick.
Honestly. Fuck off.
No, just block.
He ain't coming on.
You get a amount of people listening to your shows, you're going to get one or two like that.
Yeah. Go on, Gary, carry on. Go on, stop interrupting Gary, Nick.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, I'm just really getting fucked off.
No, don't. Just block.
Yeah, I just think, like I say, this season Newcastle lost 3 of the first 4. They lost 3 of the first 28 last season.
Yeah.
Man United, not doing great. Chelsea are struggling. Villa and Brighton are in the Europe. They're going to struggle in the league. They're going to dip down. So I think top 6, top 7 is definitely on. Definitely.
I'll tell you what, Gary. I don't know if you noticed, Villa are getting thumped, right? Regularly.
We
ain't going to get thumped. We might lose some games. We ain't going to get thumped. No. It's going to be tight. You know, it's going to be tight.
This is the argument with Moyes all the way through. You've got a lot of West Ham fans are very traditional and they're purists. They like attacking football, like Nick does. But, you know, I don't enjoy seeing West Ham getting thumped 5-1 away from home.
No.
You know, I don't care what anybody says, you know.
Not at all.
And apart from last season, and we did win a trophy, the previous 2 seasons, we were around the top 4, top 6 places all the time.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there is the other argument that the players we've got, we should be able to play a more attacking style of football with the players. I mean, you can't argue against that.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's working, and I think we've got to see where we go. I just hope this striker thing doesn't bite us in the arse, though, because I remember 2 seasons ago when we got the semi-final of the Europa League, and the transfer window in January, that done us, didn't it? Like, really bad. We didn't bring anyone in, and it cost us. Yeah. And I hope that doesn't happen again, you know? I'm not saying Antonio didn't get injured, but he could lose form or something, you know?
Yeah. No. Well, yeah, but I think it was a bit of a mistake not getting a striker in. But look, at the same time, how long has it been since Antonio's been injured now?
Yeah, a long time ago.
It's been a long time, isn't it?
It was all to do with his diet. He changed his diet, and that's when he stopped getting injuries. Did you hear that?
Carlton Cole said on the show on Ironcast. What he mentioned, he spoke a little bit about Antonio, and he basically said that the work that he's done to sort his hamstrings out, he said most people will never know. He said it's unbelievable the effort that he's put in. You know, so I don't know. Look, I would rather have got another striker in, but we haven't done it. So
we haven't. No, we've got to wait for January. Yeah, see where we go in January. Yeah. What do you reckon the Man City game, Gal? Nick, what do you think? I mean, I don't see us getting thumped for 3 or 4-0. I think we'll give them a right game. I think we'll counter-attack them. It might play into our hands a little bit, you know?
Yeah, no, I think
as good as they are going forward, you can get at them defensively.
Listen, they're fantastic. They're an amazing team, and I watched them last. I don't watch many other teams' games, right? Because I'm just not interested in West Ham.
Yeah.
And last season, I couldn't help but I watched 2 of their really top European nights. One was against Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, who were playing fucking well, right? And Man City, they had the ability to have 11 superstars all play well at the same time. They were outstanding. Yeah. And I'm afraid if they play like that or anywhere near that, we're done for, because they're going to go through us like a dose of sauce, right?
Yeah.
But it's
they tend not to start too well, though, don't they? I'm saying that they've won all 4 games, but actual playing, I mean, Sheffield United they scrape through, but they normally pick up more as the season goes on. So I don't think they'll hit top form yet. But I think we've got a chance against them. I think the way we play, it will suit us.
Yeah, no, I know.
Because
are you worried about us doing the low block, for instance, against Man City? Because, or do you think that's the way that we've got to do it? Do you think you've got to be cautious against them and you've got to try and block them out?
You've got to.
Yeah.
Listen, we get a point out of it. We've got a result, haven't we?
Yeah.
Let's face it. You know, and but I've seen us play against Man City in the last 2 or 3 years. We've been always in the game. You know, and one other thing I was going to say to you about Agard earlier. I know you mentioned this a few times. It worries me. The other night, when I saw the lineup and knowing how physical Luton are, I wouldn't have started Agard, Nick. I'd have put a Bonner in that match. I think it'd been much better suited to that
I would have
game.
as well. I would have as well.
Physical strikers, don't he?
Well, do you know what he's done so well since he's come back in, and it's been so because Bonner's one of my favourite. He's always been one of my favourite players, and I was in favour of us renewing his contract, albeit that was more out of loyalty. I thought he was finished. And I think, I think it's the way he's come back. The way he's come back from that injury and playing this low block as well is perfect for him because you don't need pace really. I mean, Zuma's not quick, so and you're never going to. And also when you add, do you know when you go back to the last game, Luton, you had those miscommunications between. With Aguirre, you're not going to get that with Oggy at the back because he controls. He's a leader, you know. And I think it's really for me. And like I said, I don't want to dig out Aguirre because I do think I think he's a top class defender. But I really, I don't think he's cut out for this style.
It was Brighton, wasn't it?
He struggles against the physical players, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You know, like for example, flipping it over, when we've got Man City now, Haaland, it's about pace. Now, again, that will be better suited than Bonner. Because obviously you get a ball over the top, but Bonner's not going to get near Haaland. But this is where, again, we should play because he will combat Haaland's, pace. But the Luton game, I was really surprised he didn't start with a Bonner at the back. I thought he would have suited him down the ground.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's I think Ogbonna, did he play against Brighton, wasn't it? Did he play against Brighton?
It was Brighton he played against.
Yeah. And I thought he was magnificent that day. I thought he looked like he hadn't lost any. He'd never been particularly fast, but he didn't look like.
Were you not shitting yourself when he was named on the team sheet? I was.
I was. But when I saw him, he looked like old Ogbonna. He didn't look like post-injury Ogbonna. You know what I mean? So I think he's a better defender. I agree with you, Gary, than Ogbonna at the moment. Sorry about all that noise in the chat, by the way, people.
I think we've cleared most of it out. They're blocked. So
these are the same little gang of Utes who go around Twitter and like a wolf pack and descend on people and start tearing them to pieces.
They've got other channels where they can do that and have their say and stuff like that. So
they've chose this obvious, which is Moyes is brilliant and you can't criticise Moyes. They don't fucking believe it. They're using it as a justification to start attacking people.
That's all they're doing
anyway.
Yeah,
and they'll use anonymous accounts. They don't use their names. They're just idiots, right? Yeah. Anyway, go on.
Do you know something? Funny, relating to what Nick was saying, what happened to him the other week. I watched a show the other night. I think there's a 12th Man podcast with Dan Potts, the Arsenal guy.
Yeah.
And he had a Tottenham bloke on there called Saba. Now, he's a pretty decent Tottenham fan. He's sensible. He don't get, over the top. I like the guy. And he got through terrible abuse. He actually went offline for a little while, and he said they started attacking about his dead parents and about his family.
It's a levels that these people will go to. Honestly, Twitter is a wild west. Do you know what it is? It's a safe space for scumbags to basically act behind anonymous fucking names and basically go and beat their chest like they're big men. Absolute fucking wankers, honestly.
Yeah.
They wouldn't get your face, would they?
No. Well, I'll let everyone know I was at Luton, and I'll let everyone know when I go to another game. So if anyone does want to have a word, they can. Cunts.
Yeah. I mean, social media's got a lot of great stuff like the show, it's brilliant. But you've got this negative side to it. You get this, people don't understand. Everyone's got an opinion. You should respect it. You shouldn't start getting abusive for people.
No.
Well, look at our lovely chat tonight, right? We got fucking 48% Moyes lovers and 52% Moyes haters, right? And and that's the way it should be, right? We're not telling anybody they're wrong or you're full of shit or anything like that. We don't do that, do we?
But in here, it's balanced, right? So there are people that are Moyes in, there's people that are Moyes out, but we talk about it.
But be under no illusion. They don't love Moyes. They're just using that as a way to start slagging people because they all think it's really funny when they start ganging up on people. Like a little, it's like a little playground thing for them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
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 Anyway.
Anyway, lads.
Fucking raise my blood pressure before bed.
Yeah, exactly. He went all quiet, started reading the comments. I thought, why aren't you blocking them?
I was blocking them, but there were so many of them.
Have a nice glass of red wine, Nick, before you go up there, mate.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Gary.
I'm gonna go and find a duck to kick, a fucking ginger one with a kilt on. Straight up the arse.
All right. Take care.
See you later, Gary.
All right. See you later, Gary. Cheers.
All right.
Right, let's give Jonathan a call now.
It is a cesspit. You're right, Andrew. Yeah.
Welcome to the EE voicemail.
I'll tell you what, I've had 6 months off Twitter and I've only come back on it this week. Fucking hell, it's worse than ever. It's terrible. There's so many of these anonymous accounts around, brand new accounts as well.
You right, ladies?
Hello, mate. You're all right.
You all right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna tell me to put elite analyst on, are you?
No.
That's good.
Well, he's got his opinions.
I know.
I don't know. I don't know.
But anyway, Jonathan, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm really, really good, mate. I'm really, really good.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
It has been a while. It is a shame the way that you know what? It's no surprise that you guys have nearly got 10,000 subscribers. To be fair, because it's a bloody entertaining show. But it's a shame. You were saying earlier. I just wanted, before we talk about anything else, you were saying about there's a small section of, or whatever size it is, of fans.
Yeah.
That are abusive. Like when we're winning, they're abusive to people with, say, your opinions.
Yeah.
Which is wrong. But you know what, as well, the problem is, if you go too far left or too far right,
yes.
Anyway, you're extreme.
No, I know.
There's also the fans that are moise out to the point of being abusive to people like me, for instance.
There is.
Completely.
It's a shame.
Absolutely.
It's a shame.
Yeah, there is. No, I accept that.
Yeah, because I've seen some of the comments in here, and it's not to me directly, but offensive as well. There's stuff like, all these, I can't remember verbatim, but like, along the lines of these wankers. Watch what happens when we start losing. That kind of thing.
Yeah, but you know where I think that comes from, where that stems from, mate. And like I say, that is because off the back of there is. I think you will fully agree, whether you're moise in or you're moise out. Anyone that was moise out, forget the final. Before the final, the last 18 months in the league, anyone that based being moise out on that 18 months in the league, it was entirely justified. Yeah. Entirely justified.
Oh yeah,
You've got good reason to be moise out after that period. And then what you've got is, and then what you've got is an issue now where basically we get a couple of wins or this, that, the other. You've got people on Twitter that won't go on there going, great win, blah, blah, blah. They'll tweet people, start retweeting, going, oh, look at this fucking wanker, what he said about so-and-so. That's what they do.
Oh, that's out of order.
So what I'm saying is that this is what people are reacting to. So it's not... You're in the middle.
Oh, I see.
I would say you're centre and you're in the middle. Okay, you basically want what's best for West Ham. You was moise out for a period. Now you're probably moise in. You want what you believe is right for West Ham. But there are fans.
No,
out
the
there
thing
at the
about
moment
me is I've
that go the other
always
way.
I wanted his. I've always liked and respected him.
Yeah,
and I've said that in the beginning. But what I'm saying is. During the period where we were 18th and we would look like a sinking ship, of course, I want what's best for the club.
Yeah.
But that's different to being I hate Moyes.
Yeah, of course.
But then you are entitled. But then you are entitled to hate him anyway as well. Like you're entitled to hate him or love him or whatever you want.
But I
want what's best for the club.
I think the thing for me, mate. The thing for me, if for instance, when we won the cup, if he'd have gone after that cup win, I'd have had nothing but superlatives to say about David Moyes from that point. Where this all stems from for me. And I will be honest with you. And I said this earlier on, and I meant it. If this season continues to go well, if we start playing and the football evolves and we start getting a bit of everything, I will change my mind. I will. Once I've got enough evidence, that is there, I will do. It isn't personal, even if it comes across. It is personal to me in the sense that I hate the style of football. That's personal, and I relate that, and I link that to David Moyes in much the same way. I don't know Simeone as a person, but I fucking hate his football. I hate his style of football. I don't like Jose Mourinho's style of football. So it's not personal on the man itself, but it isn't the style of football that I want to see. So But
no, I understand that.
That is all it is. So what I'm saying is, I'm not attacking. It ain't like, oh, you hate him, you fucking
yeah.
That's not the case. I hate his football.
Yeah, no, I get it. I think where we can all come together, and this is where we can all come together, is we enjoy winning, I guess. So that's probably where there's a bit of a ceasefire at the moment, if that makes sense.
I'll put up with it. I'll put up with this brand of football if the results are right. You know, I got to admit, more than Nick, I kind of quite enjoy the defensive side of the game.
So do I.
It's like I got really excited by Alvarez when I first saw him down at Brighton. I wasn't really watching the other end of the pitch. I was just watching him. I was obsessed by him.
He was amazing. He was amazing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Can we respond to someone in the chat? And he's been great in the chat tonight.
Go on.
Who's clearly he likes Moyes. This is great.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
But so respond to this for me. Help me respond to this. For instance, Nevadus Wilburn says, "But Nick, we don't have the players for it. It's facts. We tried it last season and it went horrific." And I completely agree with you. But now listen. My take on this. What is the difference, Jonathan, between us? And I know we beat Brighton, so you might say it's a moot point. But look, if you look at the Brighton team on paper that battered the first two teams, they played brilliant football, and the Brighton team that didn't have Ansu Fati in it, that battered fucking Newcastle just now. What is the difference? Why can Brighton play football with what are, and I'm telling you, lesser players? If we brought in that entire Brighton squad, not even half of those players would get in our team. They wouldn't. Yeah. Player for player, we are superior to Brighton. So explain to me, Jonathan, why Brighton can play the football that Brighton can play.
Yeah.
I think stuff's developed over a period of time. So if you like, I'll go back up to Brighton in a second. But if you look at why things are working for us now, I remember last season, I remember I was looking at it and thinking, we're not a sinking ship. We're trying to do something. It needs tweaking, right? Now, I feel like if you look at the way we defend, like for instance, Brighton could not do what we do. For instance, right? Because it's on the training pitch. Everyone knows where they're supposed to be. Everyone, the way we hold our shape is if you like defensive football, is pretty amazing. Like we hold our shape so everyone knows where what they're supposed to be doing. Brighton is the same with their their two-touch football, their triangles. It's on the training pitch. It's been developed over a long period of time. Yeah. So say if De Zerbi came in, say De Zerbi, for instance, who's the architect of this after taking over from Graham Potter, he wouldn't. If he came in and he was with us for over this international break, we're not playing like Brighton in 2 weeks.
Oh no!
It takes time.
But what I'm saying is, it isn't just the manager; it's the coaching staff and the philosophy as well. But what I'm trying to say is, would you agree that if you had a top manager, it could be a De Zerbi, could be someone else, a Postecoglou, and you had an elite coaching staff with them, do you not think that given a summer, we could play football like Brighton?
Well, what I'm saying is, and this is where I'm at, 100%. As I said, I really, really like David Moyes, really respect him, especially if last season, you can't even say last season was shit because you won the cup. Every season since he's come back has been a success, right?
Yeah.
Football,
I don't disagree.
But in answer to your question, because you have asked a question, the way I see it is, he's riding the crest of a wave at the moment. Since we beat Manchester United last season, our form upturned. I think since we secured our safety. People calmed down a bit. We won the cup. We started this year well. We've had a very, very good transfer window. We've got players in. Now, here's the key thing about this window, because Tim Steidten came in.
Yeah.
He's signed.
He's been brilliant, isn't he? He's been brilliant.
He's been fantastic. Now, he's signed really, really good, young, skillful players with a bit of bite in them that will fit David Moyes' system for this year as well. But they're also players that can also, once Moyes leaves, I'm not saying get rid. Once Moyes leaves, and once this stage of our of West Ham is over, we can bring another manager in, like a Xabi Alonso, that can work with these players and change our style. So that's fine. I'm just where I'm at is I'm just really me personally. I'm able to because I respect defensive football. But I also love attacking football. But I can live with this. I wouldn't even say intolerant. I'm enjoying it. We've as I said, we've had a really, really good window.
Yes.
We're winning games. We look resilient. We look tough. It's probably last year anyway.
We looked twice. We looked twice the team that we did last year.
Yeah, we do.
We really do.
In the league.
We really do. Everyone seems to know what they're doing. Everyone seems together. We've got, what I do like is we've got some players now with pace. Like, even, I know that Cornet didn't do anything last year, got injured, but even keeping him was good. What we would have done seasons before, we'd have sold Cornet just for the money. But we don't.
I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you, mate. I think we tried to sell Cornet and we couldn't sell him.
Well, I think they wanted to loan him, and we said no, which is right.
Yeah.
But but David Sullivan before would have been like, get him off the wage bill. No, we need that. We've got a really good defence. We've got pacey players. Finally, we haven't seen what Kudus can do yet, but we've got players that can carry the ball. I don't want to get into a Lingard debate or anything. We don't know what he's going to do. I don't really care about loads of things in my life I'm not happy about.
That for me, that's just a personal thing for me and Lingard. I'll be honest with you. That's
self-indulgent.
That's self-indulgent.
But if he's another player that is able to help us on the counter attack, which is what we're playing this year, and bear in mind, 1 year contract. A 1 year contract kind of means it probably does head towards the fact that it's Moyes last year. It's Moyes last year. He's got the players that he wants to fulfill his vision. His vision is low block. Very, very disciplined and counter quickly. This is the first year since he's been here. We've had players that can actually counter quickly. We've got pace.
Yeah.
We haven't got Fornals out on the fucking left wing.
Let me just say as well. Can I just say, Jonathan, interrupt?
Yeah,
Ibdex,
sure.
Agonist Lad possibly enjoyed defensive Dale Hoof. Listen, it's each to their own, right? It's each to their own.
It is taste.
You know, some people like it. I must admit, I'm not. I'd much rather see fast attacking football, but the defensive side, like I said over and over again, defensive side, if you pair it with fast attacking, a fast counter attack, it can actually be quite good to watch. It's the first part at the moment.
Look, people have.
Can I say one more quick thing, Gary?
Go on.
Sorry, Nick. When see this kind of thing, how can this that? Well, I understand that it's a fair comment, but it's when you say stuff at the end like, "Has he ever watched this?" I've been supporting West Ham for 30 years.
Yeah, there's no need to say stuff
I'm
like that. I'm
entitled to my opinion.
Yeah,
I respect defensive football, and the thing about it as well, when I'm not having to go at anyone, but when people say stuff like "we," if you've noticed, I have never once said "we."
No.
I have not said "we." We like defensive football, or we don't want this, or we don't want that. Who the fuck has the right to say "we" when it comes to me, a fan of 30 fucking years?
Jonathan, I don't know whether you're following, you follow Twitter, mate, but I know exactly what it's what it feels like to be called out and fucking attacked, mate. I can tell you that now.
It's
disgraceful.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
But what I will say is, what we all have to bear in mind.
He's apologised to you. He's apologised to you, Jonathan.
But what I will,
no worries, mate.
But what I will say is, this is the problem at the moment. And yes, you're right. There are extremes on both sides. There are extremes for Moyes out. There are extremes for Moyes in. There doesn't seem to be. Well, you don't hear about the people. There's most people are in the centre, but you only hear about the noisy voices at either end. I would say most people are ambivalent. They just want to see the team win. To be quite honest, but what I would say is. With this, he's a divisive manager to this fan base. One of the most divisive managers that we can't fucking disagree on. It isn't really good and healthy for the certainly the social media world of fan base. Anyway, it doesn't seem healthy because a lot of people, mate, can't tolerate the defensive style. You appreciate it, but I think even you would rather see us playing beautiful, free-flowing, attacking football, scoring. I would. But there was a point that I would. There was a point that someone else made earlier. I don't know what his name was, and he's entitled to his opinion. Well done, Ibdex. I tell you now. Ibdex has apologised, by the way. Oh no, Ibdex, no worries, mate. I wasn't actually. It wasn't you I was talking about. Thank you for that anyway. But it wasn't you I was talking about. It was someone else earlier saying we. What I'm saying is, I've lost what I was going to say now. Sorry, mate. What were you just saying to me? No. I think what it is with. Oh no, that was it. Sorry, I've got it. Right. So, as I said, I've watched us for a long time. Yeah. Now I'm telling you now, the most furious I would be, considering I respect defensive football, but I also respect attacking football. If we was 3-0 up, and we drew fucking 3-3 with 10 minutes to go. I would be on here fucking screaming my head off saying these mugs. We'd be talking about the manager going, the manager is naive. We'd be saying he's an idiot. Why didn't he make some subs? Why didn't he defend? Why didn't he do this and that? So it does work both ways. It's a yin-yang.
we don't want to be overly defensive. Probably Moyes is if Moyes doesn't let, if we don't, this is how I'd see it honestly. If we just sit in a low block with a laboured counter attack like we did last year, it is unforgivable. I'm happy to do the low block stuff.
Yeah.
If we attack quickly and we go for the throat. That for me is exciting. But if we're going to play 4 nails on the left wing, hang on, sorry. If we're going to play 4 nails on the left wing, and Souček in the middle, and then do fucking long ball bollocks, then no, I'm not happy with that. I won't be. Happy with the wins, but not happy with that. I want Kudus, I want Bowen, maybe Lingard. I want people running. I want the ball played out quickly. That's why it's good to have Areola in goal now. Fine.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. But with when it comes to football, because a lot of people have also made the point, because there's different types of football. Okay, now a lot of people say, you want a possession-based game. I'm not even saying I want. Like, for instance, when I watch Man City, sometimes I can find it boring because they're just playing triangles and they're just keeping the ball, and even that I don't crave that. What I would like is fucking. Like the way Liverpool play, which is almost like it's about getting from back to front as quick as you can, but playing football at the same time. But you need pacey players to do that. You've got that would be my style of football. Attacking football. Literally ballsy fucking football, having a go at people. That's what I mean. But yeah, look,
I'm with you, Nick. I want to defend hard and viciously, and I want to attack and go for the flipping throat. And that's why I'm hoping players like Kudus, when he links up with Bowen and Antonio and whoever else, this is what we need. We need to go hard. We need to, as I said, the defending hard is very, very important. And we love that kind of player. We want people to put a boot in and fight for the badge. But we also don't want long ball to Souček and then defend again. We need to be going for like against Brighton. The game itself, the whole game itself, if you look at it as a big picture, wasn't great. But the goals, those type of goals, type of play, if we can get more of that,
if Bowen's goal isn't in the goal of the top 10 goal of the season, come the end of the season, because the pass from Benrahma, the control. If Messi did that, that'd be shown on loop for the next fucking.
He killed that ball dead.
I know.
Dead.
I know. So there were some great goals, and look to finish this on a positive note. And look, for anyone, all those little wankers that was in the chat saying that we won't talk to anyone that's Moyes in, you're talking shit. I'll talk to people that are reasonable.
After people in the chat,
would you not agree with that, Jonathan? For all the little,
I think you're the best channel. Yeah. Because actually, do you know what it is? I'd find it boring. I don't call channels up that agree with me all the time because what? It's boring.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is.
It's boring.
Of course it is.
I'd rather debate it, and then I come away from this call thinking, understanding you a bit more. You come away from this call understanding me a bit more, Absolutely. And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. And to finish on a positive note, right? Because I think there are some positives there. When we lost Declan Rice, we was all a bit worried. You would have been worried as well. We all were. But how well have we fucking replaced him? And I must admit, there is one thing, and this is what I will say. People who say I'm stubborn, you'll never admit you're wrong. I admitted I was wrong on James Ward-Prowse after the first game. I was like, I was wrong. I was wrong. Humble pie. I didn't want him. I said he was a one-trick pony. But how good have Alvarez and fucking James Ward-Prowse been since they've come in?
Yeah, it's amazing. And the reason why is because we've got specialists now. We've basically got a guy that's willing to sit and do the Makelele role, do it properly. Yeah. He's very neat and tidy, and he's aggressive. And then you've got a guy that only wants to play the ball forward. So we got a guy that's a better passer than Declan, and a guy that's better defensively than Declan. Himself, he's a better player than both of them. He's like a complete player. He's amazing, fantastic. Is
he better defensively than Alvarez?
I think he's a brilliantly. I think Declan is excellent defensively, but the thing is, with West Ham, he was allowed to. I don't know if it's probably Moyes' fault, really. He was allowed to do stuff that he probably either he shouldn't have been doing, or we had to do it. We didn't have the players. We didn't have the players to do it.
I think it was necessity because we needed someone to carry the ball up the pitch, and he was the only one.
I think if Declan Rice is playing I think if Declan Rice was in this team now, right? And let's say Alvarez wasn't signed, but we had Declan, and we had Ward-Prowse, and we had Paqueta, and Declan was told, "You fucking sit there. You sweep up and you give the ball," he'd do a fine job. But the problem with Declan is what we had was Declan would get the ball and there'd be a one-man team. And is that his fault? Is it because we didn't have the players? I don't know. But our midfield's better now. Our midfield is better now, 100%.
Oh, it's much
because
better.
It's the sum of the parts.
I think we're in a better place, and we said that. We was kind of, I think we kind of all. I mean, I must admit, I was one of the fans that, because I was a real Declan Rice fanboy when he was here, and I was in favour of him sort of pushing up the pitch, and I kind of pushed back on the idea that he was having a negative effect on the rest of the team. And I was going, no, it's not the case at all. And then we did say, when it looked like he was going, I kind of thought about it a little bit differently. And I thought, well, look, maybe if you've got a captain that's always had one eye on a move, maybe that was a little bit fucking...
that was negative.
It was a negative for the squad. And I thought maybe that will give them all a boost. Maybe it will give them all a boost.
That was negative.
You know, so look, listen, mate, hopefully it carries on. We all want that. And one thing that we can say about Moyes now is that at least, which I would never have said before he won the trophy, he knows how to win a trophy now, and we're in a couple of competitions.
Yeah.
So if he does stay, then
everyone wants us best to West Ham. I'm fully behind him this year. But, I eventually would like to, we're going to have to. Look, he's getting older anyway. The next manager that we get in, I want him to be young, exciting, progressive. But I don't want him to be naive. I want him to be all those things. I want to be exciting football, but I want him to also know how to fucking defend as well. And I want him to make sure that the players put a foot in. I don't want to be a soft touch. I never ever want to be a soft touch again. Because I've seen all that. I don't like that.
Yeah.
So, lads, thank you.
Mate,
really
that was
great call, Jonathan.
And thank you for adding some balance as well, mate. It's always welcome.
Thanks, mate. See you soon, guys.
That's good.
All right, see you later.
Mate. See you later. Right, that is the last call, by the way.
That is it. We're nearly 2.5 hours, so let's call it a night. Let's call it a night.
Fantastic.
Been a good show, though. I've enjoyed this. Been very upbeat and very positive, apart from when it was negative. Until those idiots came in. Yeah, I know. I think they're. I know. If only they would. They would use normal accounts and put their proper names on, and
Yeah, and the videos will burn. Some great comments in there tonight, mate.
Listen, really good.
Listen. We love being challenged. We do, and Eddie O as well. Eddie O, he put some really good points in there. I kind of look. It is good. That's the reason why. What people that criticise his channel for, and fair enough. I wouldn't have elite analyst on the fucking show. No, I wouldn't, because that's personal now.
Why would we after what happened last week? Why would we? Why would we fucking have one of their mates on? You're joking, aren't you? Not getting within 30 miles of his fucking channel.
He's just a troll anyway.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, we do want balance. You do want that sometimes. That's the reason why we've introduced the phone in.
We've introduced Virgil. Yeah.
But we've introduced the phone in so that people can phone in and give their points of view.
Exactly.
But I have my opinion, and I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to offer balance. You offer fucking balance. My opinion is my opinion.
Yeah, I know.
That's the thing.
I know.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. That's it, isn't it? Yeah, we ain't got to copy each other. We don't have like a channel agenda or anything like that, do we? We just fucking talk. We just say what comes in our head.
I know.
All right, but no, that's brilliant. So look, thank you everybody for your comments. It's been really good in the chat tonight. And it's actually been quite easy for me to manage, which I've struggled with lately. Football isn't pretty. It's about winning games of football unbeaten. Look, you ain't getting on my screen, mate. Right, football, a game of two halves, opinions that matter. Right, brilliant. Thank you very much, all. We will. Well, there ain't going to be. It's like an international break now, isn't it? What are we back? When's the next game, Nick?
What's that?
When's the next West Ham game? It's like 2 weeks away, isn't it?
It's 2 weeks. So we've got the international break, and then we're back with a fucking horrific bang or a glorious bang if the start of the season is anything to go by. We don't know. I'm not being funny. If we get 2 points from both of those games, if we get 3 points in one of them, it'd be amazing.
Yeah.
These are two games that I would write off anyway. I think against Man City and Liverpool. So I'm not going to be making any judgments on that one. I will make judgments, but what I'm saying is I'm not expecting to win. I'm not expecting to win them. Even at the end of the day, we saw with Man City the other day. They're the type of team that if Man City turn up, you ain't beating them no matter what you do.
No, that's right. If they turn up, we're fucked. If they turn up, we're fucked.
You ain't beating them. It's as simple as that.
16th of September, so it's not far away. But anyway, look, we'll do another show next Sunday night. I don't know what we're going to talk about. It's bound to be something to talk about, isn't there?
Yeah,
there's bound to be something to talk about next week. If not, we'll just make it up. Or Nigel can do that history show's missing or something like that.
No.
We'll sort something out.
No. Nigel said on the you weren't watching, was you? So Nigel said on the Sunday night show last week that he's busy until October, but he's found a way of editing the video. So part 2 of the history tour will be done in October. So we'll be doing that then.
Cheers, Ultra. Right. Cheers, Yardy.
It's been brilliant. It's been a really good show tonight. I've enjoyed it.
Really enjoyed
Apart from that shit. I mean, I don't know why they can't just fuck off. Have I not been through enough? Wankers?
No. Listen, right? They you block first and ask questions later. That's what you got to do, Nick. That's what. Yeah. Right. So yeah. Look, the comments keep coming, but yeah, thanks all. We'll be back. So you never know what's going to happen with West Ham. If there's some news this week, something to talk about, we will talk about it. Yeah. Until next time. See you soon. Good night. Come on, you wines.
Come on, you wines. Let's play us out to a bit of massive. Everyone.
Yeah, let's do it. We are massive, mate.
Wicked. Jungle is massive. Wicked. West Ham are massive. Wicked. Jungle is massive.